What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 156 for your Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, joined by the one and only, the man who Bruce Pritchard also said spends 3 years in NXT and is not ready for the main roster. Solid Monster, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, fuck Bruce. Fuck him.
Can you believe he said Trick Williams and Oba Femi are not ready for the main roster after spending 3 years down there?
Can I believe it? Sure. Yeah. I can believe he said a lot of dumb things.
The fuck is NXT for then?
Well, I mean, look, to say that about Oba, I mean, is more than anything is pretty crazy to me. I have only gotten through, I would say, like 90% of episode 1. So I haven't gotten through all of Unreal. I know people have been circulating a bunch of clips, and so once I go through the entire series, I would imagine there might be some other stupid things that people say.
Don't you think the creative team is making themselves look more stupid season by season?
Well, I mean, I think they look at it a little bit differently, and there is something to this where I feel like Unreal has become a great vehicle to getting certain people over as baby faces. And it begs the question, because they're like Chelsea Green, for example, last season was an example of this. Braun Breaker so far in episode 1, like they come off really well. And these are people that you really want to root for. They do a better job with these episodes than they do on the actual television shows, I think, of getting these characters over.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw one clip about CM Punk talking about Larry. Well, yeah. we don't even get that type of emotion on the television show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the shows are generally very lifeless. So I think there's a lesson to be learned there. I'm not saying that the main show should be, just kill kayfabe off completely. But, like, how is it that they're able to do a better job of telling these stories in like these documentary form episodes, and they can't really replicate that on their actual TV shows?
I don't know. It's an unsolved mystery. So it certainly wasn't happening this week. After this week, I don't know where anybody's head is at in pro wrestling. Dynamite, in my opinion, was terrible. We had Friday Night SmackDown, which is largely terrible every week. And then Saturday Night's main event, I don't know what I was watching. I thought I was watching a fucking circus performance. It was such a mixed bag, a mixed variety of things on Saturday night, mixed with the fucking NBA on TNT over there. And then we got Monday Night Raw, which I didn't listen to your Monday Night Raw review, but you couldn't have been as happy as anybody with that show, right? I know I was fucking.
I thought it was the worst Raw of the year.
Yes.
And I got pushback from people saying, no, it was actually great because, we didn't have the big names on there, so there was more of a focus on the mid-card, talents. And I said, at the end of the day, the show is either interesting or it's boring. And I just thought last night's episode fell into the boring category.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. Eight segments between Danhausen and the Judgment Day.
It started promising, too, because it started with an actual wrestling match. And not a bad match.
No.
And then after that, it was just one right after the other. I'm like, nothing is hitting. Nothing is grabbing me. SummerSlam's in 2 weeks. I'm like, this show is terrible. I don't know how somebody could look at this and go, oh my God, this is a great episode of Raw. Like, what are you watching? That is so different than what I'm watching.
Raw was great. Where are these people at?
There were comments. There were comments.
I don't know, man. Some weird people out there. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about SmackDown, Saturday Night's main event, Dynamite. We got some minor news and notes. Tom Brady is in the news. Apparently he's in talks with WWE. What that means, I don't know. We have our intuitions about what that means. We'll talk about that. Penta was in the news as well because he was streamed unmasked by a popular kick streamer. We'll talk about that tonight as well. Bayley. This just actually hit the news feeds as of about an hour ago. Major update on Bayley and her status with WWE, which when we read it to you is not all that surprising. So we will definitely go over that. And we will try our best to navigate the seas here, just like the Odyssey. I didn't see it yet. Jason saw it. But this week was certainly a fucking Odyssey to get through. So we'll try our best to get through all this pro wrestling this week. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on TNT. All right, man, we got House of Glory coming up. It's coming up. It's quickly approaching high intensity. Any news from the commissioner's desk on anything going on August 7th?
No, I mean, look, I've talked before about some of the names that we have on the show, and what I would tell you is that if you would like to be there live in person, it's going to be tough the longer you wait. I don't know if you noticed, we're sold out 4 rows deep, so there is and stage seating as well, but there is standing room only. Actually, let me see here if we real quick. Sometimes we're able to add 5th row seating, which I kind of feel like we may have to do for this show. I'm just looking to see if we've already done it. Not yet.
That wouldn't be a first for high intensity either.
No, it would not. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But we are going to be streaming the event for the first time live and free on YouTube. We mentioned this last week. It's a big event for us to put out there live on YouTube. I'm excited for it. Obviously, you and I are very familiar with being live on YouTube. So we know the importance of building community and getting people in the live chat like we have now. The chat's popping, right? Everyone's engaging. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We do have, a bunch of names have already been announced. Obviously, I can go through the whole list here. Ricky Sosa, Shayna Baszler, Eddie Kingston, you go down the list. It's going to be a good mix. It's going to be a good mix of HOG talent. You got some TNA talent on the show, AEW talent. You always get that mix, and you never know who may show up, and you never know what may happen on these shows. And JD knows also that this is one of our biggest events of the year. So that's the Friday after SummerSlam. You can certainly, we will not judge you if you skip SmackDown for HOG that night, high intensity. Or maybe you could do the 2-screen experience. You could watch both shows at the same time. I have a feeling you may have more fun watching HOG than you will SmackDown.
Sure. I agree.
I think that's safe to say. But what I will tell you is that we'll be making more announcents about specific matches in the days to come. So you can follow HOG Wrestling on Instagram, X, and you and I will keep them posted as we get a little bit closer to the event. But we're getting excited, man. Biggest event of the summer.
Yeah. NYC Arena, Amazura is usually wall-to-wall people, and the energy is infectious. So hopefully you guys can join us on YouTube if you can't be there. Like Jason said, the energy comes through unbelievably well, no matter where you're watching. So looking forward to it. It's fast approaching. Going to be a great show.
And that's right. And again, we have the HOG World Champion Charles Mason, the Crown Jewel Champion Zilla Fatu just announced. They're all going to be in the house. So come on down. And if you come, say hello.
Yeah, we will be there.
We won't bite.
Doing our thing with a cold beverage in our hand, I'm sure. All right, man. Usual nonsense here. You guys can follow Jason on social media, YouTube. Everything you need for him is linked down below. Likes. Let's try and get 1,000 likes tonight. I think that's possible. We got the Super Chats open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show as always. And if you guys want to chime in after the fact with a comment, leave a comment down below when the video publishes. Also helps us out. We love being in the YouTube algorithm. All right, man. Guide us on this odyssey. Where you want to go?
Well, I was going to ask you, how are you feeling? Because I know you've been you've been fighting for your life here for the past few days. So, how are you feeling tonight?
I got I got a head cold. I'm fine. I have the urge to cough every 5 seconds or so, but I'm trying my best. The week in pro wrestling did not make me feel better. I will say that. But sleep has been tough. My nose is dripping. I don't know what I got, but hopefully I kick it by the time SmackDown rolls around, and we'll be good to go.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
it sucks being sick in the summer, with the humidity and the heat.
Yeah. And again, at least we're not in the middle of a heat wave, but still, it was 80. Even now, it's not that far off from 80 degrees here in New York. So
White Plains, I heard, got a tornado.
Yes. Lots of flooding, too.
I don't know what's going on nowadays, but
I don't know. The gods are angry.
Yes.
The gods are very angry.
We are angry. We are angry at this week of pro wrestling.
Well, you mentioned Bayley. That's kind of sort of breaking news. Why don't we start there? Because I know that was something that came out only a few hours ago, so it's kind of fresh. So let's start there.
Yeah, Bayley. Bayley wrestled Lyra on Saturday night's main event. We will discuss that a little bit later. I thought what Lyra did was largely good stuff. I don't know how you felt about Lyra's performance on Saturday. I love the whole gimmick and the whole vibe and the whole Home Alone 2 Bird Lady thing that she's got going on.
Well, hey, and by the way, the Home Alone Bird Lady just passed away.
Maybe it's an homage. I don't know.
Could be. I thought that I thought that she was great. I was very skeptical about whether or not she could pull off, heel Lyra. She just seemed like such a natural baby face to me. And we're still very early in this, but I like what I've seen so far. And also, look, she got She got blasted in the face with an elbow.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say she was bleeding, dude, like she was outside the ring and you could see little pools of blood all over the floor. So she got nailed pretty good. I don't know if it was a broken nose or not. And, she finished the match and she got the big win, which you would never know if you watched Monday Night Raw last night because she wasn't even on the show, but for 30 seconds during one of the commercial breaks. So that's a great way to continue to get her over as a new heel. So I thought Lyra did great. And of course, everyone was talking at the end because she attacked Bayley. She left Bayley laying, and people are just speculating, well, her contract was set to be up later this year. Maybe she's done. Maybe this is her last match. And now we have some reporting.
Yeah, Bayley and Lyra wrestled at Saturday night's main event. And after the attack that Jason just mentioned, people are speculating that she's been written off TV. Now, nobody in WWE could confirm to Fightful that Bayley is off TV for the time being, but her contract situation has been a point of discussion and speculation in both WWE and AEW for quite some time. The expectation is that Bayley's deal is up at the end of the year unless injury time is added. A specific date isn't confirmed, but WWE sources claim that as of now, Bayley has not signed a new WWE contract. It is expected that the company will want to retain her, and while that seems like a foregone conclusion, she will be in demand while the company has been cutting salary costs. Now, Bayley's contract and potential free agency have been a topic of conversation backstage in AEW for quite some time, says Fightful. The nature of her deal has been speculated for quite some time, with obvious conclusions being made that AEW is going to be heavily interested in making a play for her if she does become available. Bayley has been at a number of AEW shows, but we're told that Tony Khan avoids conversations with contracted WWE talent that are at those shows. She showed up a few times to watch Mercedes and support Mercedes in whatever she was doing. A number of sources have been discussing the possibility of Bayley joining AEW for almost a full year. An agent that spoke to Fightful says that they believe Bayley should at least hit the negotiation period and thinks the demand that she will potentially have from AEW and WWE could tip the change in contract terms for many in WWE. As of this point, most WWE contracts do not have guaranteed years or no cut deals in them, and the agent we spoke to believed that she could be a person who could possibly set the standard after many deals were cut midway through with millions of dollars left on the table. The points of what AEW and WWE could offer, I mean, that is obviously up for discussion on what they think Bayley is worth. WWE and AEW are both likely to offer multi-year, multi-million-dollar contracts. AEW obviously has more of a habit to throw more money at whoever they want, where WWE can't do that. Plus, she'll take outside bookings and signings and work independence if AEW does allow. So when speaking to a source in the convention world, they also believe Bayley would be one of the more in-demand talents as far as signings and meet and greets go in the last couple of decades. Not even years, decades.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Fightful says, yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
More so than Sheamus if he was to hit the convention scene? I just find it hard to believe.
I don't know. Yeah, this is not a surprise, Jason. I mean, you could go back and look at Bayley's career in WWE, and we could be here all 3 hours and talk Bayley and what she's done with WWE and how important she is to the overall general health of women's professional wrestling since she hit the scene. But you can tell that she's not happy. Obviously, with the creative that she's given, I would bet a lot of money on that woman not being happy. She's obviously taken a back seat for many years now, and you watch her and you see what they're doing with her on television, and you just get a sense that it is nearing the time for her to maybe make another career move. And obviously with Mercedes in AEW and her being labeled as one of the pillars by Tony Khan of AEW, it would only make sense for her to go there. And we already talked about this a few weeks back. Bayley and Sasha, or Mercedes, in AEW trying to recreate their historic rivalry in AEW. I mean, no matter what you think of both women and what their contributions are to pro wrestling, I mean, that's exciting for everybody. So if that's a possibility, I mean, I'm going to be all on board on her jumping ship because I think that's a great move for her.
Yeah, and before I get into this, we have some breaking news. Uh-oh. Are you aware that, guess who just appeared on NXT?
Is it a main roster talent?
It is.
Bayley?
He's been very busy over the last few days.
Danhausen?
Danhausen.
Oh, God.
You can't get away from this guy.
Bro, it's terrible, man. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here.
We'll get into Danhausen.
Yeah.
As far as Bayley goes, yeah, I mean, look, I've thought since the first reports came out that her contract was supposedly coming to an end later this year, that if there was going to be a main roster WWE talent that would transition over to AEW, because many times it's the other way around, that Bayley would be that person, because she hasn't really been focused on in quite some time. And and obviously Mercedes is in AEW. Maybe Mercedes is chirping in her ear. Oh, I'd love to get you over here. Mercedes is the one who shared that image on her IG stories, right? Not that long ago. It was this faux Wrestle Dream match graphic that somebody put together that showed Mercedes. And then I think it was Bayley, but the name was her independent name, Davina Rose or whatever.
Yeah.
And she posted it herself. And then I think it was after Bayley's segment on Raw last week, Mercedes, not long after Bayley's segment, went on her account and posted, was it like the sands of an hourglass or something? So I wouldn't be surprised if she was putting in a good word too. I know she's also very friendly with Chris Statlander. Maybe she's friends with other people on that roster. And she would have this just wealth of new talent to work with. And sometimes you just need a refresh. It just feels to me like, she's done all she can do on that main roster in WWE. I can see her eventually wanting to be somebody who maybe becomes a trainer, opens up her own school. She's doing these lodestone, training seminars. So she may want to get involved in that. It just feels to me that AEW would be the logical move if she wanted sort of to reinvigorate her career. Because that's not happening in WWE. At this stage, I don't see that happening.
Well, why is it we are at a point with now Mercedes leaving is a completely different story. Mercedes left because Mercedes wanted to leave because the old administration just treated her like shit. I mean, that's been very well documented. But in terms of Bayley, why would this administration, especially Triple H, who was there at the start of the women's revolution, and Bayley being at the forefront of that, why would he take her and not really kind of, and I know people fall off, but why wouldn't she be looked at as, man, we need to retain her? Why are they kind of so lax on her creatively? Why are they so lax on her letting her go? I feel like that's one of the women that you would want to retain her services, but they're so easily letting her possibly just walk.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they make her an offer. Again, if her deal is not up until the end of the year, I mean, there's still time. So we'll see what kind of offer they make her. I would not be surprised if, again, she ends up being one of these people where they're not offering maybe what they were offering previously. And then she has to make a decision. Is she okay with that? Or does she want to leave? I mean, that's what happened with the New Day. That's what happened with Sheamus. She falls into that same category where very talented, has been there for a very long time, has worked with virtually everyone there is to work with, but she's been there a long time. Sheamus, he's been there a long time. He's not being utilized in the same way that he would have been a few years ago. Bayley is not being utilized in the same way that she was a few years ago. Maybe they don't want to pay her the same amount of money. I think it's just a case where they're trying to get some new faces over. And I don't know. When Bayley comes out sometimes, I feel like
there's a staleness.
There's a sameness and a staleness, and the reactions aren't always there. I don't think it's because people don't like her. I just think
the presentation sucks. Like,
the music sucks. Yes, everything about the presentation is just fucking awful. I mean, when she came out the other day at the Garden, and I heard role model, and there's no fucking reaction. Like, dude, why is she still coming out to that? Like, I just don't know. Why is that so hard? Why is it so difficult when people, including sometimes the talent themselves, I'm sure, are like, I want to change my music. And then they don't change their music. Music is a very important part of the presentation. That's only one element of it. But yes, the presentation is very stale. And she's not getting the kind of reactions maybe that she was once upon a time. Part of it is that they don't really, give her anything to really sink her teeth into. She's not doing anything interesting. What did they use her for this past weekend? They used her to put over Lyra Valkyria. And that's a great role for her to be in if you're someone like Lyra Valkyria, because you get to work with Bayley and Bayley's going to put you over. That's great. But Bayley shouldn't just be the person who puts everybody over. Because when you start putting everybody over and you're losing and losing and losing, it starts to just lose all meaning. And we've seen this with other people before over the years who were there for a very long time. Sometimes you need to leave. Look at Nick Nemeth. You know, he left. We can point to a lot of people who left and, you know, sort of reinvigorated themselves and showed people that, you know, they're capable of so much more. I think she can be the next person to do that.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. Are we looking at AEW now? I mean, AEW was talking to, and there's speculation about them bringing in now Bayley. On top of that, we talked about the Machine Guns. They should be there any week now.
Well, I mean, Dynamite and Collision are in Detroit next week.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a perfect situation for them to show up after their little promo on X earlier this week. We got Machine Guns, we got Bayley, we got New Day. Sheamus, I'm sure he's got people lobbying for him to join the company, whether part-time, full-time, or just make sporadic appearances. Is this too much ex-WWE talent going to AEW, or is this something that, like, when you see a Sheamus and a Bayley, you can't really pass on that type of talent? Because, I mean, any wrestling promoter in the world would throw their money at Bayley to get Bayley's services and Sheamus' services on their roster.
Yeah, I mean, there are just certain talents that if they become available, you have to have that conversation. If Sheamus becomes available, which it sounds like you will as of October 1st, I think Tony Khan would be foolish to not reach out to him. Especially if Sheamus is interested in or sending out feelers and is interested in potentially coming in. Because I said this on Crowned earlier today. I said, you know, what is it that Sheamus became known for? What became his slogan the last few years?
Banger after banger.
And we know Tony Khan loves his bangers. So why wouldn't he reach out to someone like Sheamus? Why wouldn't he want Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods in his tag team division? Why wouldn't he want someone like Bayley in his women's division? I agree, you don't just want to bring in every cast-off from WWE. But there are just certain talents that become available who have a name from TV, who have a lot that they can contribute. You got to at least have that conversation. You have to. If that means, by the way, that there are other people on the roster who are not currently being used and he needs to make roster space, then that's what you do. You know, decisions will have to be made at that point. But yeah, it would be foolish to not want to bring Bayley or Sheamus into the company because they can still contribute. We know that. We know what they're capable of. And we know that there are going to be people there, whether it's Mercedes or Claudio or whoever, who are going to vouch for them and say, hey, this is someone we need to bring in.
Listen, the sea of possibilities for Bayley to work with are endless in AEW. You got that, and then obviously a lifeline to the indies. It's a great career move. She ain't done by a long shot, and her being stifled in WWE is just a disrespectful slap on in the face to her talent. So we will see what happens with that. That's in the news. Obviously, we still got a ways to go there. We're only in July. Report says her contract's up at the end of the year, so we'll keep a close eye on Bayley and where she goes, and to see if WWE actually does offer her somewhat of a decent deal to retain her services. Saturday night's main event, we talked about Bayley and Lyra and everything that came with that. I will add onto the Lyra situation. I do enjoy what Lyra's doing. I just don't trust WWE with dark, quote-unquote, dark characters. We've seen dark characters in the past just kind of start off decently and then just kind of waver off. WWE doesn't really commit.
Oh, I don't know. Danhausen's doing pretty good right about now.
I mean, Danhausen makes people laugh, so...
but he's very nice, very evil.
What is he doing on NXT? You got the intel there?
From what I saw, there was a screenshot. It said last night on the lower third. I don't know if he's there live, but he did some segment in his laboratory with Shiloh Hill. They had some sort of encounter, so I don't know if he's actually there live in the PC. But yeah, that's the image that I saw here. He was doing something with Shiloh Hill in his darkened laboratory.
Oh man, too much Danhausen. It's very evil. Very evil.
Look, I like Danhausen.
He's fine.
I do.
He's fine.
And I'm happy for all of his success in a very short period of time, dude. He only came in at the end of February, and he's all over the place. And I think it was Cardona. Somebody on their podcast not that long ago said that when he was still under contract to AEW and was doing conventions and indies and stuff, like at some of these conventions, like, you know, the lines were drying up. Like you could just walk up to him, you know, at his booth and there was nobody there. And so now it would be the complete opposite. So it's great. And the people like him, and he's super over, and the kids love him and everything. But there does come a point where you can get too much of a good thing. And the more you give and the more you give and the more you give and you water it down, you really run the risk of burning people out on this guy. And I don't think that's what you want to be doing. So it's just like they realized what they had and they're like, okay, we just have to just go all in 24/7, every show, every day of the week. At what point do people just go, okay, I'm getting tired of this? I don't want that to happen. I don't want them to kind of burn him out. There's a way to use him where you don't do that, and I just hope that they don't go too overboard with it. But my God, I mean, just last night alone, dude. Like
I'm already in the description with Saturday night's main event. Then last night, I'm already there feeling that way.
You put in the description, I think, that he was in 3 different. I don't know what you were counting. It was more than 3 segments that he had on the show last night.
Was it really?
It was at least 4. It was. So there was a segment where the Judgment Day.
Let me change the description then.
There was a segment where the Judgment Day threw him up against the wall, right? That was the first segment.
Yeah.
And I know we're jumping around here, but who gives a fuck? It's our show. We can do what we want. They threw him up against the wall, and as soon as I saw that, I go, "Oh my God, we're continuing this story."
Yeah.
I thought that the payoff came at Madison Square Garden. It's like it never even happened.
Oh my
They're
God.
still asking for their money.
Human
So
mice.
that was the first segment. And then he said, I gotta go get the money, right? So then he was out in the ring with the leather satchel. Then there was another backstage segment where everybody was shouting and arguing, and they made the match with, JD and Oba.
Yeah.
That's 3. Then he came back out during, I want to say it was Dom's match, confronted Liv, tried to curse her. She smacked him. Then he left. He came back out with Aew on his little tank, and they were both doing this.
All right. It's 5
You
segments.
want me to keep going here? Because, I could probably find another one that he was in last night.
Oh, my God. 5 segments with Danhausen. So
That's
we got
just
5
on Monday.
Danhausen segments. How many Judgment Day segments? You got to be at least 7 Judgment Day segments then.
It was about the same. So between Saturday, Monday, and now at least one tonight, and maybe he'll pop up on Friday too. It just gets to a point, dude. It just gets to a point.
That's terrible. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. And then they booked Dominic versus Danhausen at SummerSlam. This is what we asked for a 2-night SummerSlam to put on the card? I don't know.
But see, the really egregious thing, though, is that
It's a money match.
he has been incorporated into the women's world title story to where that almost has now over. Not that there was much of a story there to begin with, but it's almost like about that now. Like Danhausen is involved in that. He cursed her. At the at Night of Champions, and then they had their own interaction again last night. Then he's driving Aew out on his little car, and it's like, is he going to show up during the match at SummerSlam? Like their women's title match is more about Danhausen and the stupid money that he supposedly owes the Judgment Day than anything that Aew and Liv themselves are actually doing.
Well, if he could end this Liv Morgan title reign, then I actually might like that aspect of it,
He cursed her. Let's be honest, though. Okay. So first of all, it's not Liv Morgan's fault. She's not writing this crap. If Liv Morgan loses the champion, as I hope she does, if she loses the championship at SummerSlam, do you honestly believe that things are going to be any different with Io Sky as the women's champion?
No.
Have you forgotten the title run that she had last year?
How many times did she defend the title? Once?
Well, she won the title like a month and a half right before Mania.
Yeah.
Retained it at Mania, and then I couldn't tell you what she did the next 2 months.
She defended it against Io at WrestlePalooza. That's all I remember.
Well, no, she had that match with Rhea at Evolution, which was
that's right. Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
But before that, I couldn't tell you anything that she did. So if she wins the title at SummerSlam, it's going to be more of the same, is it not?
Well, they would only put the title on Io because they are infatuated with doing Io and Rhea again at Crown Jewel.
Which wouldn't be until October.
Which we'll talk about a little bit later. Because
That's my point. Like, what would she be doing from August until October? Probably not much.
She'll be wrestling Raquel Rodriguez in championship matches on Raw.
Well, not if Raquel beats Sol Ruca next week for the IC title.
Maybe Stephanie Paquette comes back.
We've been saying that for how long now?
I don't know. Why do we need Stephanie? Did you see the cosplayer?
I did.
I don't even think we'd eat her back at that point.
You know what? You may be right. We had the fake Diesel and the fake Razor. We can get the fake Stephanie on Raw.
Oh my God, Stephanie! Listen, man, Stephanie said it herself, man. You look better than I do. Get her on the show.
I was just glad to see Stephanie at all, and just like proof of life. I mean, we haven't seen her, we haven't heard from her.
I know. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about all that stuff in a little bit. But speaking of the ladies, we had a women's tag team title match on Saturday. Fatal Influence, Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley won the tag team championships from Paige and Brie Bella. Now, the match itself was whatever. It was fine. We've seen more offensive women's tag team matches this year alone. This was fine for what it was, but it was the ending that really kind of made me sit up and like say, what the fuck? I mean, the ending was just completely just botched. So we get a situation at the end. JC Jane gets involved here, and apparently she tried to reverse a leverage pin. But from my vantage point, Jason, I don't know what you saw. It was either that Paige and Lainey Reed were way too far away from the ropes, or JC Jane was late getting there to actually move the pinfall from Paige to Lainey Reed. I don't know what had happened there. Was she late?
Yeah, it's possible. I was more focused on the referee who was trying to pretend that she didn't see any of this happening.
She saw everything.
And even on commentary, they're like, oh, the referee didn't see it. And I said, well, if the referee didn't see it, then the referee needs to immediately be removed from duty and sent to the doctor's office to have her vision checked, because there's no way that she didn't see it. So, yeah, it just came off. It's just bad timing. I mean, whoever's fault it was, it just came off horribly, and it made the referee look incompetent. But, I mean, the outcome wasn't a surprise. I mean, this match could not go any other way. They did this match non-title however many weeks ago, and Paige and Brie Bella won. So now they ran it back, and it's like, you can't send them in there to lose again, because where do you go from? There's nowhere else to go from there. So they had to win. Plus, JC lost on SmackDown the night before, which just blew my fucking mind when I saw that. 5 spots, and not one of them is going to go to JC Jane. So I'm like, they need a win here. And so they did, and that's great. I don't know where they go from here as far as their next challengers. They may just go right back to Paige and Brie Bella and do another match. But this was the outcome that it had to be. It could not go any other way.
What other tag teams exist on the roster? I don't know, but Nia Jax and Lash Legend are back on TV.
Yes. So that's one. I think you took from me the one that I was going to name. I'm trying to think. Well, Raquel, like the Judgment, they don't really have a team in the Judgment there, right? Like Raquel and Roxanne are not really a team.
They're all heels, though. They're all heel teams.
Well, I mean, are there no other babyface teams?
Well, Nikki and Brie, I think Nikki's about to come back, no?
Well, I'm saying at the moment, right now.
No, there's no babyface teams now.
There's no other babyface female teams?
No. The only other one we had was Lyra and Bayley. Now Lyra's heel.
Wow, it's worse than I thought. I thought there was at least, I can't think of what that other one would be.
Why do we even have them? That's the better question.
That's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
So, yeah, Fatal Influence, they are the new tag team champions. What they do now, I don't know, but they'll look better with the titles around their waist, and we'll talk about JC Jane a little bit later, which was ridiculous that she lost and is not included in this ladder match taking place at SummerSlam. No DQ match.
Alexa and Charlotte.
Well, that's ending pretty
I wasn't
soon.
I wasn't even thinking of that because Alexa was just written off TV.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's no go right there. Danhausen and JD McDonough. This was a no DQ match. This was as ridiculous as you expected it to be, and the cloning machine was on the top of the stage. So that's what it all came down to, the cloning machine. He had the jersey. Obviously, the human monies were involved, and they're arguing and fighting over the human monies that they feel Danhausen stole from the Judgment Day. They also stole his Knick jersey as compensation that has his name on it that was given to him by the New York Knicks. So the jersey in this match towards the end was ripped. It was torn to shreds. So Danhausen makes his way up the aisleway, and in the cloning machine, he's got this little like bottom compartment. He had this stuffed cat in a toy cage on Friday, and I guess everybody realized it was for Karl Anthony Towns. So he throws the cat stuffed animal in the cloning machine. He throws the jersey into the cloning machine. The thing explodes. The door falls off, and out comes Karl Anthony Towns, Cat. So he's out there, and he gets into the ring. He steps over the top rope like he's Great Khali, and he chokeslams J.D. McDonough, and it was a fantastic-looking chokeslam. That J.D. McDonough is one of the best sellers in the business, so he made it look fantastic.
Well, it can't be Khali, because if he was Khali, he would have delivered the brain chop to J.D. McDonough.
That would have been good, too, you know? That actually might have worked out pretty decent if he tried it. And then he chokeslams Dominic through the table that they set up earlier in the match, and he chokeslams Dominic through the table. And then Danhausen gives him the triple D, Jason. The triple D. The Danhausen death drop. Not the triple B, the triple D.
I've given the triple D a few times in my day. Let me tell you right there. Yeah, you know, I mean, look, this was what you expect in a Danhausen match, right? You know it's going to be the comedy match of the night. You knew that there was going to be Nick's involvement in this match. And the fans, of course, in Madison Square Garden, they ate it up. Like you said, the chokeslam to McDonough, and that was, I mean, Cat did what he needed to do, but that was all McDonough. I mean, McDonough, the way he sold it, and even last night in the match with Oba, you know, the way he was bouncing around. He took a back body drop last night that just sent him into the heavens, and he got beeled across the ring. He's bouncing around all over the place. He's you know, he knows his job, and he does it well. And so it was exactly what I expected it to be. You know, it was fine. And the fans in the building enjoyed it. They had fun with it. We had the mini Hausens running around, and I naively thought, well, that's the end of this story. But I mean, fuck me, boy was I wrong, because it's almost as if this never even happened when I tuned into Raw last night.
No, it was like a mirage. What did you watch on Saturday?
I don't know. Maybe I did doze off and dream. I don't know.
I don't know. Danhausen wins here. We'll talk about Raw in a little bit because he was all over that fucking show last night. We talked about Lyra Bayley. Lyra got the win over Bayley. We talked about Bayley and her possibly being written off television. We don't know that for sure, but Lyra did have a good beatdown of Bayley at the end of the match by delivering Nightwing onto some steel steps. So we will see where they go with Lyra as a babyface. Let me see what you think of this. I actually pitched. Lyra is, I don't know how long Lyra is going to be a heel. I don't know if she's going to kind of ease into the role and how well she's going to play the role, how WWE is going to, I guess, creatively book her. But I heard from a couple of people that Tatum Paxley may be getting called up. And if Tatum Paxley gets called up, there was a relationship between Lyra and Tatum. If that's her first feud, do you see that happening and maybe Tatum trying to rekindle her friendship with Lyra, bringing us back the old Lyra? Do you see something like that happening there?
I mean, I would imagine that maybe they would be together, not against each other.
I can't see Tatum as a heel, though.
Okay. I just figured that might be a better way to go with it. But if you can come in as a heel and then ultimately you do the babyface turn.
Yeah. I thought that would be a good way to introduce her. But.
Yeah, I mean, the key with Lyra, though, I think is to just get her consistently on television, you know, because she just turned. You have to establish her as a heel. So she's coming off this huge win on Saturday. And I just felt like I understand that she may not have a match at SummerSlam, but to just keep her off the show entirely last night. I mean, there were no women's matches on the show last night, and there were really no women's segments of any great substance. If you think about it, right? Nothing of any significance with the women. It was all tied into the live stuff was all tied into Danhausen.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would like to see is more of a focus on establishing her and giving her the chance to go out there and play heel and really, you know, set the tone for whatever this character is supposed to be, and then just, you know, go into whatever her next feud is going to be. What she did during the commercial break last night was she walked up to Sol Ruca and said that she was going to be getting that belt back that once belonged to her. So next week, she's going to be defending the title against Raquel. Does she get involved in that? Is she going to just challenge whoever comes out of that as the winner? Is that going to be the next feud for the title? I hope so. I think that would be good. That would be a good place to go with her.
Lyra and Sol, I like it.
Yeah.
They actually kind of cooled off on Sol Ruca, too, for a little bit. I don't know
Didn't
why.
They just wrestle?
Yeah,
had a
a couple weeks ago, yeah. When she was still a babyface, yeah, she got her match.
Was that the Clash in Italy match? Or did they do
No,
that
that
on
was
Raw?
on Raw.
was
As soon as Soul won the title, Lyra was the first to X for a title match.
Oh, right. Soul won the title at Clash in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah, she couldn't challenge for the IC title when Becky held it, so she's like, I want first shot.
Right.
We got this tag team match here. Punk and Cody versus Gunther and Sami Zayn. By far, I mean, it was the only thing of note on the show that was worth watching. This was a great tag team match. Not surprising seeing who was involved here, but with the great tag team match that was, it all came down to the ending. And the ending really set up to where we are going to SummerSlam with Gunther and Nick Aldis. So the referee did get bumped here, and Punk hit a GTS on Sami Zayn, and then he and Cody Rhodes threw shots at Gunther. There was a 2-on-1 situation with them going at Gunther. Rhodes went for a Cody cutter. Gunther moved and hit Punk. This was accidental. This was not done purposely. Gunther exited the ring. He went to go grab the WWE Championship. He then hits Cody Rhodes with it, being that the referee is down. He powerbombed Cody Rhodes, so he was looking to go to SummerSlam. All of a sudden, Gunther goes for the pin. Another referee ran down the aisle as fast as he could, slides into the ring, starts making the count, and Nick Aldis showed up out of nowhere and pulled the second referee out of the ring and stopped the match. So then he takes the WWE Championship title that Gunther threw outside. He picks it up. He hits Gunther with it. This allowed Punk to hit him with a GTS. Punk pulled Rhodes on top of Gunther because Rhodes was the legal guy. 1, 2, 3. And that's the way the match came to a close. So I figured this was going to be the case, Jason, with Nick Aldis getting involved here. And the one big thing I was stuck on is, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go on Friday Night SmackDown, Aldis was very greedy and very selfish because he let his problems with Gunther get in the way of now ruining the match for Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn's got no opportunity to go to SummerSlam, and he gets screwed out again. Justice for Sami. Do we get a situation where Nick Aldis now, and if you go back and you document everything that's happened to Sami Zayn, he's had to defend the title on Monday Night Raw being a SmackDown guy. Adam Pearce was the one that made the match. It wasn't Nick Aldis. Now Nick Aldis here is fucking over Gunther, and Sami Zayn is just collateral damage here. Are we looking at a situation where Sami gets into the SummerSlam main event with Punk and Cody, or are we just looking at Sami maybe getting a title match on SmackDown somewhere?
No, I think you owe him a title match after what, I mean, his boss screwed him for no reason. He didn't do anything wrong on Saturday, and he really did. He got fucked out of a potential world title match. The match between Cody and Punk is set. I mean, you saw the way they started building it up at that kickoff event on Sunday. They're really starting to build heat now for the match. It's a much bigger match one-on-one. But he should be guaranteed the first shot coming out of SummerSlam, maybe even on that first SmackDown. You know, coming out of the show, whoever the champion is defends the title against Sami, because he is owed a shot. He never did get his rematch, but after what happened on Saturday, how can you say the guy doesn't deserve a title shot, right? His own boss screwed him over for no reason. So I think you do that on SmackDown coming out of SummerSlam. I don't see them changing the main event at this point. I think the main events that they have put together are pretty well set. What that means for him at SummerSlam, he could be an observer. He could do commentary for the main event. He could be in the building for it. But I don't really see a role for him, like an active role for him on that show. I don't know what other match he would be in. And I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even be adding him to that match. You got a big main event, whatever night it is. It's probably gonna be the night one main event. I would leave it alone. The issue right now is between Cody and Punk. It's not Cody and Punk and Sami. Sami being thrown in this late in the game, it just doesn't feel right to me.
Even with the dwindling ticket sales, does it even matter if they throw him in there?
I mean, when they announced that Punk and Cody match, I mean, the report from a few days ago was they sold over 4,000 tickets.
Well, they don't have anything to do with that. The $25 tickets has everything to do with that.
That has a lot to do with it, sure. I mean, the ticket discounts, but I'm sure that, once they made the announcement of that match, it did help sell some tickets. More than it would have if they announced that Sami Zayn was going to be challenging Punk in a rematch for the title. I'm sure Punk and Cody moved some tickets. Problem is, we don't know what night they're wrestling.
I thought that it was a foregone conclusion that they were wrestling on night 2. I mean, how could you even put Reigns and Rollins on night 2?
For me, it's the night 2 main event if you consider night 2 to be the bigger of the 2 main events. But I don't know. I mean, the way that they're really building up this match with Roman and Seth, and then looking at what they did on Saturday, closing the show with that, instead of closing the show with the actual main event, that told me everything I need to know about which match they think is the bigger of the two matches.
That's ridiculous. That's just insane to me. But
I mean, I think they told you everything you needed to know just based on, watching the show on Saturday.
well, we'll figure that out. Hopefully, they'll announce what match is going on what night. But after the match here, Rhodes handed the title back to Punk, and Punk flipped the title over his shoulder and absolutely meant it with what he did here. The strap of the title caught Cody in the eye when Punk was putting the title over his shoulder. We slapped him in the eye with it inadvertently, supposedly. I'm like, oh, there you go. There's
It was totally inadvertent. He didn't know what he did.
He didn't know what he did. Okay.
He slung the belt over his shoulder.
So basically what we're doing the Samoa Joe Hangman deal from AEW when they feud her over the title. Remember that?
Well, that was more ridiculous because didn't he throw the belt? He dropped the belt.
He dropped the title.
That's right. He extended his arm and then just dropped it before Joe had a chance to. And Joe was irrationally upset about this.
Yes.
So
irrational that 12 security guards came out. They needed to be separated.
But still, nothing will top Chris Jericho spilling coffee on Kane, and that being the impetus for them to feud many years ago.
No, that's the top of the top right there. So yes, that was the first little inkling of tension between these two, and then there was a social media post that they filmed after Saturday night's main event where they were going at it, and Cody was actually throwing some cuss words, and they bleeped him out a little bit. Punk was getting into it. They had to be separated, and then all of a sudden I go back to rewatch it, and then I find out that they pulled the clip. So I don't know why they deleted the clip, but I read some of the comments saying, "Oh, it's a work. They want you to pretend like that they're on good terms and that they're good friends." It's like, all right, but why did they pull the clip though? It doesn't make sense why they pulled the clip. Did you see that they pulled the whole entire clip from social media?
I did not. I don't pay that close attention to the clips that they post or pull to be even. How would you even know that?
Someone sent it to me, and then I went to go click it. It wasn't there anymore. It says this tweet has been deleted.
But you already watched it, so why would you go back and watch it again? What made you go back and want to watch it again?
I wanted to see the comments.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see what people were saying.
I see.
But yeah, so that's the little start.
There aren't too many segments produced by WWE these days where I watch it and I have the great burning desire to go back and watch it a second time.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing about this product that you're going to watch a second time. But they had a little back and forth at Fanatics Fest too, didn't they?
Not Fanatics Fest. It was at the kickoff show on Sunday.
Kickoff show, yes.
That was where things got really heated, and Cody was getting up in his face, and he dropped a bullshit on him. He was cussing, and then Punk said, "Look, what I did was not intentional, but this is." And then he pie-faced him, and they had to be separated.
Well, there you go. Hopefully, we get some fireworks on Friday. Finally.
Well, this is the 2 SmackDowns left. If you're going to do it, this is the week to do it. This is what I've been waiting for. I want to get that one-on-one promo between them in the ring where it's more than just brother. I want them to go out there and just start dropping some bombs. I think that's what we get on Friday, hopefully.
Thank you for giving me this world title match at SummerSlam, brother. Thank you for saying when, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Get the fuck out of here. Who wants to watch that garbage?
Thank you, bruv.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, well, I mean.
Thanks, bruv.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, too. Yeah.
Respect you, bruv.
Yeah. Main event segment here. This was 9:40. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something going on here that Roman Reigns is now going to come out here with Jalen Brunson at 9:40. There was about 15 minutes of aura farming, and then we got them both in the ring. He speaks about Jalen Brunson being the king of the... Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm not going to... I have to take umbrage. I'm not going to allow you to denigrate the importance, the significance of aura farming. Now, you do realize how important our farmers are here in this country.
Yes.
Farming is very, very important.
Yes.
Nothing is more difficult than aura farming, which is why we didn't have Roman Reigns on the show last night. He needed time to recover from all of the aura farming that we saw at the end of that show on Saturday. It's hard work, JD.
I know.
Very hard work. Do you remember that many years ago, we actually had a hog farmer in WWE?
Yes.
It's right. He used to come out and he used to have the slop, right? The slop we get a different type of slop these days, but he had his slop bucket that he would have.
Yeah,
right. He used to go suey, and then all the little hogs would run around him. And so that's a different kind of farming. These days it's aura farming. That's what WWE is all about.
Good old Henry O. Godwin over there.
Henry O. Godwin.
And Phineas.
Phineas I. Godwin. So we had hog and pig.
Oh my God! Yes. This is what we do for a living, folks. This is what we do for a living. He was so busy. He was at the Yankees game over the weekend. He was at the World Cup. He was somewhere else in New York City having dinner, and then he was at Madison Square Garden. But he can't show up to Detroit. I guess he has something against Detroit, no?
Look. He needs to recover. He needs time to just rest up. And then we're going to get one last face-to-face with him and Rollins next week. We got a weigh-in coming up with Brock and Oba. They're going to weigh them.
If I can have a weigh-in with Brock Lesnar and Oba. Please tell me Vince is not back. Somebody. That's a Vince McMahon special right there. The good old weigh-in.
No, actually, the Vince McMahon special would be having Brock and Oba have an arm wrestling contest in the middle of the ring. And then just as Oba's about to win, Brock throws powder in his face and blinds him.
Or worse yet, a fucking pose-off with baby oil. They're all baby oil.
The baby oil. How could I forget?
With Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. I'll never forget that one. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Remember when Lashley used to come out? His gimmick was that he would bend over and show us his ass?
Yes.
He was like bending over, literally prying open his ass cheeks. And I'm like, who asked for this? Like, what am I watching here?
That's good television, pal.
What is this?
Oh, man. Brunson, the king of New York. We got the Blimphausen flying over the ring. And we have them just kind of bowing down to Jalen Brunson. This was basically a second New York Knicks parade. That's all it was. So greatness acknowledges greatness. Is no secret that NYC is the home of WWE, and 53 years was way too long for the Knicks to go without a championship. So they did the whole deal. Acknowledge us. All WWE wanted was a shot of Roman holding his championship, and then Roman gifted Jalen Brunson a beautiful New York Knicks-inspired WWE World Heavyweight Championship that you can buy on WWE Shop for a cool $700. It's a beautiful title.
It's a very nice looking belt.
Yeah. So you guys can get that just in time for Christmas. So they did this. They got their SportsCenter moment. And then all of a sudden, Rollins' music hits. And instead of Rollins coming out, Tyrese Halliburton comes out wearing a Seth Rollins t-shirt and carrying a chair. Rollins jumped Roman from behind. So then Halliburton handed Rollins a chair. Rollins went to curb stomp Reigns on the chair, but Brunson got in between them. He did not get physical because he just had wrist surgery, so he just stopped Rollins from doing the stomp. This allowed Reigns to hit a Superman punch and a spear. Halliburton and Seth retreated, and then another SportsCenter moment for WWE. This is all they waited 2.5 hours for. He holds up the Larry O'Brien trophy, does Roman, and Jalen Brunson is legitimately wearing his championship and holding Roman's championship up in the air, and that was their SportsCenter highlight of the night. And that's the way Saturday night's main event came to a close. What does this show mean, Jason, in 2026? I mean, this may have been the worst Saturday night's main event that I've watched since they brought the gimmick back to Peacock.
I mean, they got their viral moment. That's what they do it for. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand it because the Knicks right now are, especially in New York, they're going to be hot. They just won the championship. The finals, just ended not that long ago. They had a parade through the entire city. I get it. I get wanting to feature them in some way on the show. And you haven't, like Jalen Brunson is a legit WWE fan. And we've seen him on the show before. So that's fine. It's just that, closing the show with 25 minutes of this. I think the Brunson entrance alone, I wish I would have timed it, dude. It took forever. And then once he ran into Roman, then they both came out and took their time. And they were just, standing around and looking around and taking it all in. And then the time it took for them to get to the ring. And then, so the people in the building were stoked because they're seeing Jalen Brunson walk into the Garden for the first time since they won the championship. But I'm just watching this and I'm like, I wonder what the fans that are watching this who live in like Canada and the UK in Germany, in Australia. Like, they're watching this, and what are they thinking? Do they even?
They don't.
Do
care.
they know?
No.
Do they even know who any of these people are?
Probably not. I mean,
do they give a single shit about what they're watching? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are from this country who are watching who don't really, didn't care for
the sad thing is, and I said this on my Saturday night's review. If WWE was in Philadelphia, for example, I use Philadelphia as an example, and the Phillies won the World Series, and Saturday night's main event was happening in Philadelphia, that same time frame, they would probably trot Bryce Harper out there and give him a fucking huge celebration in Philadelphia. They don't give a fuck as long as they're on SportsCenter.
Oh, dude, I said, had the finals gone differently, this show would have been in San Antonio, and it would have been Seth Rollins with Wemby in the middle of the trophy.
It doesn't matter.
No. But they're going to tap into it and be like, how can we use this to our benefit here? And there were times in the past where they have used celebrities. I mean, they've always used celebrities. Okay, so we can't pretend like this is something new. Celebrity culture in this company goes all the way back to the first WrestleMania. Without the celebrity involvement in WrestleMania 1 is not a success. Right? It was a success off the back of Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper. And then you can go down the line and LT and Bam Bam and Mike Tyson was huge when they brought him. And I'm not even saying like as a boxer, like he was already past his prime, but like that was huge for them. And they used him as a way to give Stone Cold the rub going into that WrestleMania and coming out of WrestleMania. But we're not talking about them really giving the rub to like a newer star on the rise who could use it. It wasn't like Oba was out there posing with Jalen Brunson. It's just Roman Reigns, and now they got the visual of him holding up the trophy, like, as if he needs another championship, and now he's holding up the trophy, and I'm like, it was just, for the people in the building, it was great. It felt like something that would have been great off the air, as far as like main eventing and closing the show with it. If you turn the show off after the tag team match, you missed absolutely nothing.
No.
It was weird watching Rollins out there be booked as a heel. He was a total heel.
Yes.
In that segment, even though he's been a babyface ever since he came back from the injury. So that was also very weird to me. The whole thing was weird. I know why they did it, but my God, I mean, to dedicate that much time to it and close the show with it in the way that they did, and we have a special belt, gifting him the belt, like, who cares?
The whole Rollins and Reigns feud has been shit. Like, the only thing of note that they've done is these mini episodic fucking promos that they've aired on Monday night the last 2 weeks. How is that enough to get you excited about them wrestling for an 11th time?
Well, that's the thing. There is no feud.
There is no feud. It's just based off their history. Yeah,
it's completely based off their history. The whole premise of this is that Roman has never beaten him when it counts in a major match, and again, like they go back to the Shield betrayal, which was 12 years ago at this point, and like it's all past stuff that has led them to this moment in time. The big story, and the one that makes the most sense, is that Seth came back and he never had the chance to challenge for the belt that he never lost. He wants the belt back that he never got pinned for. And that makes sense, and I can understand that. But that's it. Like, there's no real current story between them. It's all about their past. It's all about their history. And so we have these little vignettes, like last night. They showed the cash-in, which was 11 years ago. They're showing Money in the Bank 2016. When Rollins beat him, that was the night that all three members of the Shield won the title, but you would never know it from watching last night. So they showed that, and they showed the Shield reunion in 2018, and I'm like, none of this is really throwing gasoline on the fire. Like, what they did at the kickoff event with Cody and Punk on Sunday did more to get me fired up for that match than anything they've done with these two. And they had a really good contract signing last week. They were trading shots back and forth. Like, I thought that was good.
Yeah, but
there's no real.
You didn't like the line where Roman told him the only way you can win a championship is by cashing in your Money in the Bank contract, and then Rollins is like, "I'm a revolutionary. I'm a visionary."
Yeah. As soon as he started lapsing into that just fucking
like
killed it.
Bro, come on, man. Like, Roman Reigns absolutely slaughtered him on the microphone last week. So stupid.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely he did. And he had that line about Triple H being his work daddy, and all that stuff. So, but again, the week before that, Roman wasn't there, and we got that awful, boring Seth Rollins promo. Last night, Roman wasn't there, so they had Rollins interacting with Solo Sikoa instead. So when you don't have both of them there, it suffers. So at least Roman will be back next week. That's the final Raw before SummerSlam, so that'll be their go-home final face-to-face. And, look, they're going to have a great match. I have no doubt they're going to go out there and have a great wrestling match. This is not the match that I would have liked to have seen Roman in. This is not a match that, to me, if I compare it to Cody and Punk, to me, the bigger match is Cody and Punk. I'm sorry. They may give Roman the night 2 slot, but the bigger match to me is Cody and Punk. It's a match that we have not seen. It's 2 of their biggest stars. We know what they can do. We know what Punk can do on the mic, right? That's why I want to see them go at it on Friday. I'm just more invested in that than I am the Roman and Seth stuff.
Do you think this would have materialized a little bit differently if this was the WrestleMania Night 1 main event and we didn't have the New York Knicks aspect going into this show on Saturday, this past weekend?
I mean, the Knicks stuff doesn't matter. It was one segment on a show. It didn't further anything, but I don't think it ruined anything. Had they done this at WrestleMania, yeah, it would have made a difference because we wouldn't be sitting here talking about SummerSlam with Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns. We would be on to something else.
No, I'm talking about the overall build. Will they have done anything a little bit more to build up an actual story between them?
I don't think so. Huh? Probably not. The whole build is based on their history. It's nothing recently that's happened. They've kept them apart. Nothing has happened recently with these two. Seth just came out and started bringing up their past together. And in one segment, Roman was like, "You're right. I have to beat you." All of a sudden, it's so important that he beat Seth Rollins.
I have to beat you, little brother.
Yeah. You know what? You make a good point. I have to beat you. Okay. Great. So we have a match at SummerSlam.
The writing is just so insulting, but that's WWE nowadays, and that was Saturday night's main event. So that was largely a very forgettable show, and we have some news with some of the celebrities that have been linked to WWE this past weekend, whether at Fanatics Fest or there at Madison Square Garden. We'll start with this one. Tom Brady. Tom Brady reportedly is in talks with WWE. Now, he's got this going feud here with Logan Paul, and nobody knows where it's going, but TMZ is reporting that there are ongoing conversations with Tom Brady, who's a 7-time Super Bowl winner, and WWE, which could set off a face-to-face with Logan Paul in the ring. Now, per the report, it is not clear what will come of these talks or what the 40-year-old Brady would be willing to do inside the ring.
I just realized, I think I know what this is setting up.
Yes, I know.
I think I know exactly what this is. Based on Saturday, I think I know exactly what WWE's endgame is here. So now they have the visual of Roman Reigns holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy. And now what they're hoping to do is get Roman Reigns holding up the Vince Lombardi trophy. I think they're going to want him holding up the different trophies for each league. They're going to go sport by sport so that Roman can pose with it and hold it high in the air.
I know you're being very sarcastic, but I probably would not be surprised if that was the case.
I'm only being half sarcastic. Only half.
This fucking company's ridiculous.
No, look, I mean, if you've been paying attention, we're talking about Fanatics Fest. They had something that was it Saturday? I don't know what day it was, but at Fanatics Fest, they had a face-to-face. Somehow they got up in each other's face.
Well, yeah, he was on Cody Rhodes' podcast with Tom Brady.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Which I have to tell you, I didn't watch it, but to me, the idea of sitting through a Cody Tom Brady conversation
it sounds fucking awful, bro.
It sounds like a corporate board meeting. Okay, I really just did not have any. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I did enjoy Cody's conversation with Fallon Henley, though. I did see.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
that was good. So, but then there's this face-to-face with Tom Brady and Logan Paul, who have been going back and forth all year. He was on Logan's podcast earlier this year. And so they came face-to-face, and it all built to Tom Brady slapping him. And it was so forced and lame and contrived. And then at the World Cup, did you see that? They were both at the World Cup final on Sunday, and they're flipping each other off. So it feels like they're building something up between, Tom Brady and Logan Paul. Now, I can't imagine that Tom Brady is working a wrestling match or a singles wrestling match. I just can't see that. But the idea of it is so awful to me. honestly, the idea of him doing anything with them is just awful. I feel like there are some celebrities that are a good fit. Even Logan Paul. Logan Paul, he gets it, right? There are some guys that get it. Tom Brady doesn't strike me as the kind of person who's going to come in and be this great charismatic personality on WWE television. I have no interest in seeing him do anything as far as like a character standpoint. I know he's getting shit on in the sports media and like sports Twitter because like, don't lower yourself to this. But I just remember the comments he made earlier this year. He got all the wrestling fans riled up when he's like, oh yeah, that WWE stuff, that's cute. And it's scripted. And NFL players are better athletes than WWE stars. So they can't possibly bring him in as a babyface, could they?
No.
When he healed on pro wrestling.
The false finish was even saying he was working then.
Okay, well, I'm sure he probably was.
Yeah.
So, but then, okay, if he's going to work with, the idea of him working with Logan and Logan being the savior of wrestling and being the babyface in this, like, that's also just comical to me.
Bro, you know what this is leading to? This is leading to him getting involved in some way, shape, or form with Tom Brady because isn't Brady a minority owner in the Las Vegas Raiders, as is Ari Emanuel?
Well, yes, but Brady, for his off-the-field endeavors, no pun intended, is represented, I believe, by WME, which is owned and operated by Endeavor.
This is probably leading towards a WrestleMania something in Saudi Arabia. Because Tom Brady also inked a deal, I believe, before that got axed for flag football in Saudi Arabia, and that never went through. So,
and Logan Paul was supposed to be a part of that.
Yeah,
he was supposed to play in that.
There's something happening next year in Saudi Arabia with these two. I am pretty certain.
That sounds awful. That sounds absolutely awful.
I've already coined this the worst WrestleMania of all time next year. We haven't even gotten there yet.
Dude, do you realize we don't have dates for WrestleMania yet?
There is a reason for that. I'm sure you know.
There's definitely a reason for that. They're going to drag this out as long as they possibly can. I know why. I'm just saying it's ridiculous that we're in July. They have 2 nights, and we know it's in April.
Yeah.
But they still have not announced actual dates for WrestleMania yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit here too. But that's the news on Tom Brady. If the talks lead anywhere, the report says the business relationships are already in place for Brady.
This is just the way, dude. It's the Pat McAfee thing all over again, where they can promote. Now, he's not a direct client of Ari Emanuel in the way that Pat McAfee is, but again, he's tied into this whole machine. So for them, it's like, oh, we get to kind of, it's this synergy. It's this collaboration with people that are still kind of under the umbrella, and this cross promotion or cross pollination, whatever you want to call it. It's so fucking gross, because to me, it just doesn't enhance the show. It doesn't enhance the product at all. And so, but that's not where their interests are. They don't give a shit. And you could just look at the Pat McAfee stuff as a great example of that.
Well, I put on social media because there was a report I retweeted. I believe it was from False Finish or Wrestle Purists. I said, nobody wants this. Nobody asked for this. Like, this shit is garbage. Get this off my TV. All the replies, all the negative ones had the same thing. So I got attacked by a bunch of bots. Why do you watch this? Just stop watching. I don't want to stop watching, but thank you for your concern. This shit sucks. Nobody asked for this. If you want to go see Tom Brady, I'm sure he's got 1,000 other fucking things he can do. Don't come into pro wrestling. We already had enough of Pat McAfee.
You want to have a fun exercise one day? If like WWE will post stuff on their main account, and it could be about something that maybe we don't like or we think, oh my god. But like you look at some of the comments, and they're like positive comments. Like, let's just say, for example, that they make some sort of announcement, and Tom Brady is going to come. He's going to wrestle Logan Paul, and you see the responses under the tweet, and it's like, oh man, the 7-time Super Bowl champion is coming in to take on the Maverick. I can't wait to see it. And then there's like a fist bump emoji. Click on that profile. I bet anything. You click on that profile, you click on like where like the account creation, it'll gives you the account details. Yeah. It'll be from Nigeria.
Yeah. I block all those accounts.
I'm seeing this everywhere. Yeah. Dude, it's all bots.
Yeah.
The platform is all bots.
Yeah, South
These
Korea,
are not real people.
India, Asia. I block them all.
Yeah, and usually recently created accounts. Like, it's all fake. It's all fake.
It's bad. Yes,
that's what it's turned into. It's like one giant bot farm.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, it's sad. So yeah, that's the news there with Brady. We'll keep an eye on that. Nobody's excited for that, but WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia, I would not be surprised if it leads to something concerning that. Speaking of WrestleMania, they did announce at Saturday night's main event that with WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia, both nights of WrestleMania 43 in April will come with an immersive live viewing experience as WWE hosts 2 watch parties for night 1 and night 2 at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Now, along with those shows, because I think we are to assume that WrestleMania will take place at least, I would say, 1 p.m. Eastern time here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. So you're probably done by 5. On Saturday and on Sunday, you're going to get 2 individual shows, depending on which night they want to put what show on. Stand and Deliver will be on one night, and then AAA Eternal Glory has been just announced as well for that same weekend. Now, on top of that, Jason, they are doing watch parties not only in New York. I heard today that they're doing Orlando, all major cities, Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, whatever is a major city in the United States, WWE is going to have a presence there with watch parties for both nights of WrestleMania. This goes along with Meltzer's report this week that apparently he might have let the cat out of the bag, and he probably knows more than most people do, that Tony Khan is possibly thinking, or was possibly thinking, about doing something WrestleMania week or in the time frame of WrestleMania in New York City to offset the fact that WWE isn't holding WrestleMania here in the United States and maybe running a show for AEW and the Indies to kind of come out and conglomerate. So I don't know what is going on as far as AEW's stance and what their announcement could be or when that may be. What do you make of this entire situation? Because like we just mentioned before, WWE strategically has not mentioned the date for WrestleMania. And that is very odd, being that we have a date, or we have a location rather, and we have a logo and all that comes along with WrestleMania, but no date.
Yeah.
So why are they doing this? Do they have inside intel to what Tony Khan, he may be doing, or what's going on there?
No, I think they suspect that he wants to do something, and he's kind of stuck in limbo if he doesn't know what the dates of WrestleMania are going to be. That's why they're doing it. That's the main reason. And whether it's Tony Khan really or anybody else, but if it was going to be anybody organizing something, it would be Tony Khan because he has the resources to do it. And I think he should. I mean, I said that months ago. I said, well, you're going to have a lot of fans here who obviously are not flying to Saudi Arabia to go to WrestleMania. And usually you have all these different events and WrestleCon and all this stuff. Somebody should put together some sort of like wrestling festival for the week or whatever weekend. And it doesn't have to be WrestleMania weekend. In fact, I would suggest doing it the weekend before or the weekend after. But as soon as he announces that they're going to go ahead and announce something for that weekend. So I think
WrestleMania will be taking place the last week of April. Forget about it.
It's going to be for the first time ever WrestleMania weekend, and then we have a second WrestleMania weekend.
It'll be WrestleMania in May this year. Yeah.
Oh, what was it? WrestleMania Backlash is coming.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on here. It's like a game of chicken, and nobody wants to blink. And I think that has a lot to do, frankly, with what's going on here. But I still say, like, Tony should put together an event. I originally floated New Orleans, not New York, because New Orleans got robbed of WrestleMania this year. And I just think New Orleans is a great city. So why not do it in New Orleans? And again, the way it works for WrestleMania every year, you have all these different indie promotions that could piggyback off of it. WrestleCon could do a convention. And here's the thing, like AEW now has this My AEW streaming service, and they have partnered up with so many different indie promotions. So if these promotions want to run events that week/weekend, you could even stream them live on My AEW for the people who maybe can't travel in. And it could just be a whole big thing domestically here in this country. So I think he should do it. I can understand why maybe he hasn't made any sort of announcement yet, because he's waiting to see, like, when is WrestleMania? We don't know. Is it going to be the third weekend in April, the second weekend in April? He can't really plan anything until he knows when Mania is going to be. So how long are they going to drag their feet before they announce what the actual dates are?
Well, I mean, does WWE need to announce anything? They're probably going to fill that stadium with all government officials and Saudi people. No,
I would imagine that there are people who are going to be willing to travel from the States to Saudi to go to WrestleMania. Green Shirt Guy's going to be front and center at that fucking show.
You got a free ride on the jet. I know.
There are going to be people who I think would be willing to travel and pay the money to travel to go over there. So yeah, if people want to travel to go to WrestleMania, then they have to make those accommodations. They can't wait until 2 months before the show. How long are they going to wait? And it's not just the people who are going, like the people who want to, tune into WrestleMania and plan their own like watch parties. Or if they're going to do these watch parties in different parts of the country, like you said, those events have to be set up.
Yeah.
Right? The venues, they need dates. So they can't wait too long.
Well, it sounds like WWE may have to be the first to give in here, which will then give Tony Khan, like you said, a clear indication on where he should be and what he needs to do. What do you? Does it even matter at this point? I mean, obviously you don't want to run the same week as WrestleMania, but if it's the week prior, you said New Orleans. I like that idea. What does that show look like? Does it just look like another typical all-in show like we had last year at Arlington Stadium? And do you think AEW could fit a stadium, even though they struggled to fill Arlington Stadium for their biggest show of the year?
I don't know that I would risk running a full-blown stadium. I mean, if you had a quote-unquote stadium that was the size of like Arthur Ashe.
Yeah,
absolutely. I wouldn't be running a 60,000 seat stadium. But again, wherever they run, like I would kind of celebrate it as, I would bill it as like a celebration of wrestling and really cater to that audience, the audience of wrestling fans who just want to see great wrestling. Lean into that. And again, you can have all these other events piggyback off of it and just make it a fun week or weekend of pro wrestling. The AEW event, it doesn't have to be a Forbidden Door type thing where you're bringing in different talents from different promotions or anything. It could be a traditional AEW event, but just really build it up as like a celebration of wrestling. I said festival. I like the idea of it being almost like a wrestling. They can't call it WrestleFest, obviously. That'd be perfect, but something along those lines.
Yeah, like a Woodstock.
Yeah,
something along those lines. That'll be cool.
And I think that if you really kind of cater to that demographic, I think the people will come out for it.
Well, it is going to be very interesting to see what he does. I wish, I know he says publicly that he doesn't want to take the low road anymore, and it's because of his religious faith, and, that's good on him. But, it's good to be a little bit of a prick nowadays. And especially with WWE taking the paycheck from the Saudis and kind of removing WrestleMania, which is a huge thing for not only WWE, but everybody that tags along for the ride here in the United States. So, the indies flourish off of WrestleMania week, and a lot of workers find their most work during that weekend. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm just kind of being a prick about it. Be open and honest and let everybody know exactly what's going on. I hope he takes a low road for discussing this with the public and just kind of letting his feelings out. Like, it's bullshit. I want to give back to the fans, and this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going to be, and just let people know how he's feeling.
Yeah, he's not going to do that, though. He was asked recently about some of the recent counter programming. He gave a very disciplined answer. So
some of that training's paying off, huh?
It's very different than the if you remember the Brawl Out scrum after Punk left and he stuck around, and they asked him about WWE counter programming, I think, for Labor Day weekend. And
yes, there was a Worlds Collide show that weekend.
Yeah, and he said something to the effect of, now I know how Jim Crockett feels, and I'm not going to take, I have more money than he did, and I'm not going to take this fucking shit no more.
Yeah.
We've come a long way from that version of Tony Khan.
Man, that was a good version of Tony. We like that, Tony.
Well, but the thing with that is, like, you just show that you're gotten to.
Yeah.
And that's what WWE, they thrive. It's like any bully. They thrive off of that. They want you to sell it. And you have to just don't sell it. Just pretend like it's just water off your back. It doesn't bother you, and put a smile on, even if you're screaming on the inside. Don't give them what they want. Because that just gives them that satisfaction.
Yeah, Richard Parker, that's Tony Khan character development. Yes, indeed. He's leveled up.
Growth.
So that's the story there. Other news here from Fanatics Fest. The streamer Neon, who I don't know how he got popular or what he does or what he's about. But
is he one of these IRL streamers? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he's an IRL streamer. So WWE invited him to Fanatics Fest, and then they showed him on camera at Madison Square Garden during Saturday night's main event. But apparently he was broadcasting live backstage at Fanatics Fest when his camera caught Penta backstage without his mask on. Now, obviously, we know how the Lucha Libre regards a wrestler's identity, and Penta has kept his face covered throughout his career. So he approached Neon. He explained that he wears a mask and asked that the footage be deleted. Neon agreed because the broadcast was live, however, viewers had already seen it, and obviously it now lives in infamy online forever. So an event official later told Neon that filming was not permitted in that backstage area, and he was barred from WWE's booth for the second day of Fanatics Fest. He maintained that he did not post the clip himself. Neon still attended Saturday night's main event at MSG. He was even on camera, and he was quoted saying, "I just want to apologize. It was a clear misunderstanding. They told him that he could take the mask off in that area, and they told me I could stream in that area. It just clashed. It was never my intention. I would never do that on purpose. I am sorry." Penta has not publicly commented on the incident. Now, I just chalk this up, Jason, to WWE. You know, they go to the bottom of the barrel nonsense like this and then use people like this for engagement. I don't know why they need to stoop this low. This is garbage content. Just like the reaction streamers, that it's just garbage content. It's the lowest hanging fruit. But the thing with this is when you get in bed with somebody that probably has not watched a day of pro wrestling in his entire life, doesn't know anybody on the active roster or what it means to be backstage mingling with the wrestlers and be in the business of pro wrestling. Now, I said this to Coach today because we talked about this on 2 Count. How many times have you and I been in the House of Glory locker room at NYC Arena? I could probably say 0. The only time we've been in the locker room is because we needed to say goodbye to Red O'Brien. And that's it. We don't belong there. We have no desire to be there. We're not talent. We do what we got to do and we go home. You know? It's like this guy here, he has no respect for the business, which is why I just think that this is just garbage content and WWE should stay away from shit like this.
I mean, he claims it was a misunderstanding. He was told one thing and Penta was told another. And so that's what he's claiming. I mean, look, when you allow people to film, you know, in certain areas like this, and they're all live streaming. It's not like some of them are recording stuff maybe, but a lot of people, they live stream stuff at these events. So if he was told that he was allowed back there, that's on them. You know, they shouldn't have allowed him back there if that's the case. Just feels like a miscommunication to me. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, and then unfortunately you end up with a situation like this. But it kind of reminded me, like, if you remember, Tama Tonga got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I think he was fined because he was filming back. And he did this for a long time. It wasn't like a one-time thing. This was his thing, I guess, on his IG, where he was filming backstage of the events. And so he was filming something or took a picture in catering one day. And Ray Phoenix was sitting there and he was unmasked. And he was just there, like on social media. And people saw it. And he got in a lot of trouble for it. You know, look, if you're gonna film in these environments, then stuff like that's gonna happen.
I think he got fined $100,000 for that little.
It was like $100,000, yeah.
I think it wasn't he also? Then he also take a picture when they were overseas on one of the European tours, and he photographed Mr. Iguana without his face paint on.
I think so, maybe, yeah. It's a menace.
Oh man, what's going on there, bro?
I don't know.
So yeah, I mean this is nonsense. So yeah, I don't know what Penta said to him, or if Penta will publicly comment on it. I think Neon said that Penta's team is suing him. I don't know what this is going to devolve into, but it's just stupid nonsense. So
they'll turn it into an angle, and we'll get Neon against Penta. That'll be the next big celebrity match.
Yeah, save it for WrestleMania 43. We'll just add that to the card.
Sure.
Oh my God. So let's go to Raw. Unfortunately, we'll end with AEW because. We got a couple of things to talk about over there. Raw, you know, there wasn't really a lot to enjoy on Monday night. Javon Evans and Dragon Lee, they got a tag team title match for whatever reason against Braun Breaker and Austin Theory. Shout out to both of those guys, Javon Evans and Dragon Lee. Just great in-ring stuff here by those two. Breaker and Theory are looking at a possible tag team title defense against Alpha Academy. That's Tozawa and Otis. Whether that happens at SummerSlam, Jason, being that Otis is from Minneapolis himself, or if they do it on the go-home show next week, I don't know. But what are you making them setting that up for the tag team title match here?
I mean, based on everything that they've been doing, it seems like we were trending in that direction.
Yeah.
It's all based around Maxine. Maxine is the new leader of the Vision, by the way.
She is.
Paul Heyman basically said, like, you don't need me if you have her. And then he wasn't even on the show last night, but for a pre-tape. And so I think he really is done. He may not be done with Braun Breaker per se, but he does appear to be done with the vision. And it's all about Theory and Maxine.
No one is more pleased with this move than Logan and than Austin Theory.
Oh, I'm sure. Wouldn't you? Did you see like when she came
yes.
at the end? Okay, you know where I'm going with this. He was, hey, look, good for him.
He had a little bit too much fun there.
He did.
That's all we'll say.
He enjoyed his job that day.
Yes. Braun Breaker, they need to get him out of here very quickly. I don't know if it leads to something by losing the tag team championships, if he does end up with Paul Heyman. I don't know where Bronson Reed fits into this when he comes back. Again, anything happens here, but that was the open of the show. They retained the championships, set up that match potentially for SummerSlam. Danhausen and the Judgment Day, we talked about that. Obviously, that set up Obafemi and JD McDonough. That lasted 60 seconds. You knew what type of show it was going to be if they set up Obafemi and JD McDonough on the show. Solo Sikoa. He showed up, not on his show, and he wanted to talk to Seth Rollins. So basically, in oh so many words, Rollins wanted to be Cody Shield going into WrestleMania 40. So Solo wants to be Seth Rollins' Shield going into SummerSlam against Roman Reigns because Solo tried to urge to Seth Rollins that it will be a 4-on-1 situation. Now, what do you make of this, Jason? Because all I got out of this is like, all right, I see where this is going. We just got War Games in Houston announced. So it looks like we're already slowly assembling the team that will battle the Bloodline in the War Games match. Is that the same thing that you got from this segment?
Yeah, I mean, that was the vibe I got. It's like, look, it's another year of War Games, and so I'm sure we're going to get some Bloodline involvement because they don't really have anything else. They don't have anything else. Who are they going to put in the War Games match?
Can't do the Judgment Day. It's half women.
Yeah. That's going to be a pretty sad team if you're going to do that. It's going to be Dom, JD, and basically what? Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne will have the first intergender War Games match.
It's better than the Bloodline for a fourth year in a row. So,
actually, someone on my stream the other day had what I thought was a very interesting idea. And maybe I'm just so starved for an interesting faction. Of all the groups that we have right now in WWE, I mean, are there any truly like interesting ones? And I think the answer is no. Like, and I like Fatal Influence. They're still very new. But who do you really have at this point, right? You have the Bloodline. You have the Judgment Day. On SmackDown, you have Jade and the Baddies. You have Fatal Influence. What other groups are there? Are those pretty much
main roster groups? Point? Yeah.
MFTs just got broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can't really at this moment, as I sit here in July, come up with like a better scenario for War Games. But this person suggested that maybe Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens come together, bound by a common cause, men who have been wronged before, some sort of like uneasy alliance. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That sounds kind of interesting. We can work with that. We can come up with something for that.
Sure.
Why not?
Ed Gunther did that too. He's been wronged.
He has been. Boy, I don't know where he goes after SummerSlam.
Well, we talked about it. He goes right to Dragunov if he's alive still.
That's what you and I would like to see, but I don't expect it to actually happen.
You don't expect anything with this fucking creative team, no. I don't know. Yeah, I like that idea. I like Sammy KO and Drew McIntyre together. You know, I mean, KO and McIntyre are sorely missed. So I like that idea. Sure. Yeah. Anything's better than what we're getting here. This Solo Sikoa nonsense with LA Knight and Royce Keys, Jacob Fatu. I'm going to talk about this now. I'm going to lump this in here. I don't know where we sit as fans. Who are we supposed to cheer for? Who are we supposed to boo? I feel like I'm watching AEW, Death Riders, on WWE television. I don't know if the Bloodline are heels or babyface because you got Roman Reigns out there fucking standing with Jalen Brunson doing the one, acknowledge me. Then you got Jey Uso coming out last night yeeting. But then you got all of them attacking LA Knight, who's one of the biggest babyfaces in the company.
He's one of the biggest babyfaces in the company, and yet still he gets chance of OTC, and he handles them, I think, very well because he's like, I don't even blame. Basically, what he's saying is, I don't blame you all for being a bunch of idiots because he has you conned. right? You people have been easily manipulated. So I don't blame you simpletons, because he's speaking facts every time he's out there, right? In terms of the story, Roman and the Bloodline, really, they should not be cheered. But people chant OTC, and when Jay comes out, they like to yeet, and so they get cheered as baby faces, even though they're not really, there's nothing about them really that screams babyface. I feel like LA Knight is sort of a man unto, an island unto himself at this point. He's making a lot of really good points. He's just not making any real breakthroughs. And he was looking up at the lights again last night.
Yeah, unfortunately. And he's cut some really good promos lately. So he seems to be on, at least in that aspect. But we're going into the 6-man tag team match. I don't know where either team lies. Heel, babyface. Why do I care? Who am I cheering for? Who am I booing for? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So Rollins, he's eventually, from what we gather, is going to get involved here with Solo Sikoa. Do you feel any inkling to cheer Solo Sikoa now after leaving the MFTs and now seeing where
I like Solo. I think that I've always said this, that Solo Sikoa has a great babyface run buried within him. And he's got a very funny person, naturally funny personality. And I think he was severely miscast as like the serious kind of stoic faction leader, because that's just not him. So I'm all for babyface Solo Sikoa if that's the direction they want to go in. I know there was a comment that was circulating on social media earlier that was attributed to Dave Meltzer. I didn't hear the audio, and so much of what he says on his podcast is just clipped and taken out of context anyway. But it was something to the effect of like, Solo Sikoa is not likable enough to be like a good babyface. So again, I don't know if Dave actually said that, but I think that he's got a great babyface run in him, and he'll get over too, depending on like how they pull it off. So I've been more interested in what he's been doing lately than I ever was anything he did when he was leading the MFTs.
Yeah. Well, he's around people that have actual characters and charisma.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this will give him more of a chance to actually show it.
Yeah.
Before he just had to be very serious, and we didn't know anything about the people that were in the MFTs. Everything about it was just all wrong, and that's why he didn't succeed. But him as a babyface, I'm all in on that, if that's where it's going, unless it's all a ruse, and he pulls a flare on Sting at SummerSlam and turns on LA Knight and Royce Keys during their 6-man tag and aligns with the Bloodline. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can't rule it out completely.
Well, Jacob Fatu did say at the end of this segment, actually, he's like, you know what to do, and we'll see what he does. But that would be just terrible going right back to that again. I'm not into that whatsoever. So War Games is announced. They did announce it for Dicon Field in Houston. Dicon Field. When did they change the name? What was the old name of the park?
Minute Maid Park.
Minute Maid Park. When did they change the name? Recently?
I don't know.
Huh.
Well, I mean, look, the last time they had a PLE there, I'm pretty sure it was Minute Maid Park, and that was the Royal Rumble in 2020.
Yes, that was Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre booted Brock Lesnar and got his WrestleMania moment. Little did we know that was his WrestleMania moment that year.
Yeah.
That was the same stadium, so it had to be in the last few years if the name changed.
Well, they announced that for Houston Stadium, another ballpark, Survivor Series, just like they did Petco Park last year in San Diego. The War Games concept, I think you and I both agree. I think most of the people here agree. Concept is completely just overdone. It needs to go the way of Hell in a Cell, brought back every couple of years or so when it's really necessary. They are absolutely just forcing these War Games matches, and then none of them really stand the test of time. They're just something for the moment, for that show, and then they just disappear just like fucking dust in the wind. You're going to get your Bloodline slop. You're going to get your EO jumping off a cage in a trash can. And then Triple H is going to be like, this is what we do.
Everybody comes in with a weapon.
Everybody comes in with a weapon, yeah.
Kendo stick, garbage can, right? It's just the same formula that they follow for all of them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have and there have been some good War Games. I'm not saying there haven't been any good War Games matches since they brought them to the main roster, but there, to me, have been very few memorable ones. My most recent, truly memorable War Games moment probably is in NXT with Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
And that call by Morrow when she, kind of acted like she was going to the ring, and then she just ran right into the cage and booted her partner, and Morrow was losing his mind on commentary. I think Nigel was with him doing, like, that's a memorable, like, holy shit moment. And what was that, 2017, 18?
Yeah. Yeah, those War Games matches were great down there.
Yeah.
They built them all around the Undisputed Era, but at least they stayed together as a faction, and they were cool. So, I don't know. I'm tired of War Games. I would love a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination, but that may be too old school for WWE nowadays. I don't know. It's going to be something that we have to wait and see how it all materializes. The women's matches are the worst, though, because they just come together in 2 weeks, and then they just pair random women's matches and feuds together just to call it a War Games match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they don't put a whole lot of effort into it.
No, at least Tony Khan, he does the same thing. They come together in 1 to 2 weeks, but at least when you get a fucking blood and guts match, it really lives up to the name.
And because we have 2 of them, we end up with 4 matches on the entire card.
Yes. It's more likely going to happen the same way this year because we're going to get that as well.
I thought last year's Survivor Series was one of the worst Survivor Series they've ever done.
Dude, it was fucking awful.
40-year history of the show, that was easily one of the worst Survivor Series shows that I have ever seen. And I said at the time, and I stand by this, it is the worst, or I guess the least exciting stadium show that they have ever done.
Yeah, I agree.
It was terrible.
I don't know if Petco Park has a retractable roof on it or not, but I know Minute Maid Park does. So we need to contain that sound, because the one thing that really stood out to me last year was that crowd was it was 40,000 plus, dead silent the entire show. Not a single. Now, granted, the show sucked, but not a single reaction of anything.
I was going to say, maybe the fact that the show was no good had something to do with that. It's just the thought.
We'll see what happens there, but that's War Games is coming back. Can't wait to hear War Pigs again by Ozzy. Maybe we should change the theme too. Plenty of other songs with war in the title.
Well, you want to go old school and use Survivor, Eye of the Tiger?
I would take that. Yes.
Would they pay for it though?
No. They're all in on Suno AI. You know what that is?
I've heard of it.
Yes, that's Chad Gable's theme music is Suno AI written.
Gable.
Yeah. All the AI vocalists have the same voice.
He's trying, man. He's trying to get that clap over. They gave him the clap, and he's trying to get it over.
It'll get over when he wins the title. That's what we're going to talk about next here. Gable, Penta teamed up. Can they coexist against Rusev and Ethan Page? Great spot at the end here where Gable had the ankle lock on, and Penta leapt off of Gable's back like he was fucking Jeff Hardy, and he did a springboard Mexican destroyer on Ethan Page, which looked great. So Gable and Penta got the win here after Rusev tapped out. Great stuff there. We've been a broken record here. Even though they're 2 baby faces, all Triple H needs to do, man, close your eyes, send them out there for 20 minutes, give Gable the belt, and let them go out there and have a match tonight. There's really nothing else you need to worry about. I mean, just give them 20 minutes, That's
it. Not even 20. Give him 15 minutes.
Whatever.
It'll still be longer. I mean, remember WrestleMania was at night 1 this year. I don't know if there was a single match that went longer than. I mean, they were outside of the main event, I guess.
Gunther and Seth Rollins went 15 minutes.
But that was night 1 or night 2?
That was night 1.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember one of the nights, like, there were so many matches, including the women's title match, that went like 7 minutes, and I was like, what? Why are they rushing for?
Now, do you think they're going to do the same thing again this year? 7-minute matches with 8-minute commercials? You think you're going to get the same thing as WrestleMania?
I think so, yeah. I think you'll get time for the main events and like the really key matches. And I think there's going to be a lot of matches on the undercard that get shortchanged.
That's awful. $25 tickets. That's what you're paying for.
And I'm thinking that Brock and Oba are probably going to open night 2 inside Hell in a Cell to get that match on ESPN.
Are they still doing that? I didn't think they did that.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. They've been doing it for all the PLEs. Huh. Why would that be any different for SummerSlam?
I don't know. I didn't hear them advertise that.
They haven't mentioned it yet, but I suspect, I don't see why they wouldn't. I suspect, unless there's some sporting event going on August 1st and 2nd, I would suspect they would do the same thing.
There was some conflict between ESPN and WWE. I think they wanted to add an extra match to the show just to fill out the back end of the show. That was Night of Champions. They wanted a 6th match on Night of Champions.
Yeah, there were those reports, and Triple H, I'm sure, was just sweating bullets at the thought of it. But oh my God, they want me to add a sixth match to the
I
show.
don't know. I don't know if we could do that, Bruce.
I don't know. I don't know if I could survive this.
Well, you know who's not getting on the SummerSlam card? Joe Henry. Why does he? Is it a troll? Do you know have any insight in scoops on this or whatever?
No,
saying?
I just think Michael Cole is he's just bad, and so that's it. Just you don't have to really overcomplicate it. It's just he's made other mistakes like that recently, and he called him Joe Henry. Maybe that's why he doesn't appear on these shows. They say his name and he appears, but if you say his name wrong, he does not appear.
I guess so. You might be onto something there.
That could be why. It's like, why is he not showing up? I'm saying his name. Yeah, because you fucking said it wrong. So he doesn't show up. And here's the priceless thing about it. He did a run-in. He made a save last night where they played his music. It's the closest thing to an actual entrance that he's had on this show since he debuted on Raw. But that's still not like a proper entrance. So they made an impromptu match on the show between Joe Hendry and who did he wrestle? Dom. And Dom and Liv come out. They make their entrance and they go to commercial. And they come back from now I'm watching with the VPN, so I'm like, there's no way, right? And sure enough, say his name. And so during the commercial, he gets his fucking entrance. And when they come back from commercial, they go right into a highlights of Gunther and Nick Aldis at the kickoff event and making their match official. And when they come back to the ring, he's in the ring going like this. So another Raw where Joe Hendry does not get an entrance. I'm convinced it's like a rib at this point. He's been on this show for how many months now?
I would say at least 3 months.
I think it's a little more than that. He's never had a proper entrance.
No?
And that's his whole thing, man. No, never.
I thought we came back from commercial and his theme music was playing last night.
Yeah, yes, but that's not an entrance. He made his entrance during the commercial break.
But we saw him waving his hands, though. That's the whole...
So what? That's not his entrance. That's the tail end of his entrance. That's not his entrance. When we say that somebody got the jobber entrance and they come back from commercial and you hear the tail end of their music and they're already in the ring, we don't say, oh, they got their entrance. It's like, oh, shit, they got the jobber entrance. That's all they've done with him since he debuted on this show.
Why do they want him?
Look, he's going to be in concert next week with Danhausen. So maybe he'll get... Actually, he probably won't. He'll probably just already be set up with all of his instruments in the ring. They'll come back from commercial. But that's like it. But, dude... That's his whole gimmick is the music. That's such an important, vital part of his act. I don't know why they refuse to actually air it on the television show. It's puzzling to me.
Well, he's got his spinning clothesline. He calls it the hit single, and then he's got his dive over the ropes, which he calls the stage dive.
I guess that means Mike Santana is going to have to find a new move when he debuts.
Apparently, the chat's saying he debuted on NXT tonight.
Is that so? Well? Okay, so I saw somebody say they didn't mention his name. So usually when that happens,
they didn't mention Mike Santana's name.
I don't think so.
Oh no!
There was some people saying but they didn't say his name.
Why do we need to change the name of Mike Santana? What's wrong with Mike Santana?
Well, what will they call him if he's not Mike Santana? Is what I would like to know.
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
I'll call him Ortiz.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a news and note here on Mike Santana, too, that I was going to get into. I guess I'll delete that. Apparently, the report said that Mike Santana was set to show up at the end of the summer. We're not there yet.
I mean, they threw everybody off the scent, I guess. But good for him. I mean, look, we kind of knew this was inevitable.
Yeah.
I think NXT is a good place for him to start out. He's going to win that championship. Let him work his way up to a point where he can carry that brand. And then when the time is right and there's a spot for him where they actually have a use for him, you put him on the main roster, he's already main roster ready.
Yeah, I don't trust them, though. I don't trust them. It's not going to be Mike Santana's fault when the fans are upset that he's being booked poorly. Well, I'll just say that right now. Yeah, but we're both happy for him. I'm glad that was quicker than the report said. He needs to be on TV if he's not in TNA. Now that leaves Leon Slater. Where is he going to go? Is he going to stay? Is he going to join WWE? So we'll see what happens with that. But Mike Santana apparently showed up on NXT television. Joe Hendry beat Mysterio after Danhausen came out and tried to curse Liv. She punched him in the face. He ran to the back, And then he brings Aew out on his Danhausen mobile. And then that led to a Danhausen death drop on Mysterio, which gave Joe Henry the win. Riveting stuff here. You know, no match. You know what I noticed? No match goes above 10 minutes unless it's the main event. They usually do 10 minutes and then a commercial break.
Oh, I've noticed. Not a lot of action on this show.
No, it's in this weird like holding pattern. It's the same show every week. And
this was very much a phoned-in show last night.
I said it almost felt like they partied too hard in New York and they forgot that they had a show in Detroit on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it was, it felt like a lame duck show. Let's just get it over with so we can get to the go-home show next week.
And Jacob Fatu pinned LA Knight in 12 minutes. The Bloodline came out, and the Bloodline stood at the end holding the ones up after Fatu hit the mighty moonsault on LA Knight. He takes another L. And that was Monday Night Raw. It felt like I wasted 2.5 hours. Actually, it was one of the shortest Raws, actually. It wasn't even 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Danhausen had like 18 segments, and the show went off the air 15 minutes early. Yeah. So if it felt like the Danhausen show, that's because it was.
Yes. So that is the WWE stuff here. We do have an AJ Styles note here. This was something that caused some stir on social media. AJ clarifies his comments after saying WWE should buy a company in Japan. So he set off a debate last week with members of the IWC, and he said he would love for WWE to buy a wrestling company in Japan and run it the way it has run AAA in Mexico. Now, some fans read this as a shot at New Japan Pro Wrestling because, of course, they did. He didn't mention any promotion by name, but the fans putting words in his mouth as usual. So speaking on his phenomenally retro podcast, Styles says, I never named the promotion. Did I ever say New Japan? I can't remember. Just a Japanese company. That's more of what I was alluding to. Now, the bigger objection was fans invoking Hiroshi Tanahashi and current company president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, who retired from in-ring competition at Wrestle Kingdom in January. Styles pointed to Tanahashi, saying that everyone missed his point entirely. People are like, oh, Tanahashi. There ain't but one Tanahashi, and the fact that Japan came out and supported him the way that it did says a lot about that country, because he's definitely one of my favorite guys in the wrestling business, just a heart of gold. So this caused a lot of stir online, Jason, and I know you and I have talked about like WWE getting in bed with this promotion and that promotion, and they want their flag in different parts of the world. I personally am not interested in them stamping their flag in Japan. I know what that would mean, and that's not good for the pro wrestling business or the overall health of pro wrestling. Now, AAA is for what we get with AAA, WWE owns 51% of the company, and I like what they're doing personally with AAA. It reminds me of the old NXT Black and Gold. They say that they kind of want to put their own little touch on it or their own little flair on it. They're not going to deviate away from what AAA is and what Lucha Libre is. They just want to kind of put the WWE stamp on it, whatever the fuck that means. But if they actually go out and start buying promotions from Japan and in the United Kingdom, we're talking about a whole completely different ballgame here. We need to stay far away from that, because I don't think the overall health of pro wrestling in the hands of WWE is where we want to be again, because with the rise of AEW and them giving another home for people to go and work and them showing how it is to work with other promotions, why do we want WWE to go and just swallow everybody up so that it's just WWE and nothing else?
Yeah, I don't know where this stuff is coming from, where he's claiming people were bringing up Tanahashi and stuff. I feel like it's sort of deflecting from the core point here, which is that here he is advocating for WWE to acquire a promotion. And he never said New Japan, but he said acquire a promotion in Japan. And he made the comment, it was to the effect of, using AAA as an example. Oh, if you look at what we're doing there, we're not changing the culture. We're just putting our own spin on it. And I'm like, that's exactly what's wrong with this. Like, he says it as if it's some sort of like, oh, yeah, no. We're just putting our spin on it. But that's exactly what people don't want, is for WWE to go in and colonize different parts of the world and put their own spin on what they think wrestling in that particular region should look like. So I think this is a terrible idea, and I think it's terrible that he, of all people, would advocate for something like that. I'm not saying that there aren't positives to WWE, owning part of AAA. The production is certainly a lot better than it used to be. AAA also, again, people sometimes maybe, forget or don't realize that AAA for many years was like basically trying to be WWE. Like it was sort of the big sports entertainment promotion in Japan, in Mexico. And they would do a lot of really wacky things, and they would have wacky characters and stuff. And so it wasn't a terrible departure from the kind of wrestling you would see in WWE. But the problem is, like, you don't want them to put their spin on pro wrestling in different parts of the world. You don't want to run into a situation where you kind of lose your identity. And I use the example of them when they tried to take over the UK wrestling scene. It was a fucking disaster. And they left that scene worse off and weaker for it. I'm not sure it ever really fully recovered. I mean, it's recovered some, but I don't know if it's back at full strength. And it wasn't just WWE. I mean, the speaking out movement had a lot to do with that too, because there were a lot of people that were exposed, and that did a lot of damage. But I don't see the overall benefit for pro wrestling if the idea is that WWE is going to go into these like real wrestling strongholds in different parts of the world and go into acquisition mode. I think that's a terrible idea. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think it would work in Japan. Everything I've like read and heard about Japan, it would be a hell of a lot harder for them to really make inroads there and like buy a company. I just don't think that would ever be accepted. But for AJ Styles to make that comment, even if he was coming from like a good place, it's just such an awful thing to think about. Like WWE going into Japan, acquiring a promotion, and who knows, maybe they acquire a second one, and then they go into this part of the world and that part of the world, and they plant their flag. And no, we don't need that. We don't need more TKO and WWE influence in different parts of the world. I'm totally fine with them forging partnerships with promotions and collaborating with promotions, because that's something they never used to do. They had their own little sandbox. They didn't really play well with others. I'm all for collaboration in pro wrestling. I think that's great. What he's suggesting, though, is something very different. And I just think that would be a terrible road to go down.
Yeah, well, I don't know why we need to go down that road. Like,
I don't know why he would even say that. I really don't. He, of all people, who's worked in Japan. He did make a comment where he said, I would love to see Japan kind of restored to the glory days of what it was like in the 90s, and they were selling out the Tokyo Dome. And that's cool. That would be great, right? Because business, like New Japan in particular, like they have not fully recovered business-wise from like COVID. It's a very different company than it was 6 or 7 years ago. And they did well at the Tokyo Dome this year, but that was off the back of the Tanahashi retirement. The Tokyo Dome really doesn't get sold out anymore. So sure, you have a lot of fans that long for the days of like, early 90s All Japan and sold out Tokyo Dome shows. But I don't see how WWE acquiring a promotion and moving into the region is going to sort of lift everybody up.
Yeah, but
if anything, it'll lift.
Shouldn't that be more of Tony Khan's problem?
Well, why would it be Tony Khan's
Well,
problem?
isn't he partnered with New Japan? Like that should be more
partners. He doesn't have an ownership stake.
Oh, I know. If anybody wanted to help New Japan, it should be Tony Khan.
Yeah, but again, we're getting in the weeds on like New Japan. He wasn't saying New Japan specifically. I'm just saying like WWE acquiring a Japanese promotion. They don't do that with the intent of, oh, we want to lift the Japanese wrestling scene, like what AJ is talking about. That's not their intent. Like they're looking at the benefit in it for them.
Yes.
They're not interested in moving into Japan and saying, how can we restore Japan to the glory days where, when New Japan goes to the Tokyo Dome, they can sell it. Like, they don't give a shit about
I long
that.
for the days of the Tokyo Dome. We want to bring back those glory eras. Like
WWE, there's always been a blood feud between AAA and CMLL. And so WWE acquiring whatever, the 51% of AAA, that hasn't changed that. It's not like all of a sudden WWE moved in and they're interested in making Mexico overall, like the Mexican wrestling scene, this super strong scene, and maybe they collaborate with CML. Like, that's never going to happen. That competition is still there. All I'm saying is that WWE has their own business interests. They don't give a shit about the overall wrestling scene, which sounds like what AJ's talking about. I don't know if he's just being naive. I don't know. but why he would advocate for that and say that, oh man, this is what I want. Like, do you? Like, if you really care about the Japanese wrestling scene, is that really what you want? Because that just sounds like a bad idea.
At that point, he's just being a company guy, AJ. Who did they send over there, WWE? What they sent Omos over there, Tavion Heights from NXT? Well, that's
because
what they should be doing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They have a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah.
And so they sent Nakamura there for a couple of New Year's Eve shows or New Year's Day shows. And yeah, it was Omos.
Tavion Heights.
Well, yeah, but they didn't send them together, though. That was separate. Josh Briggs was another one.
Yes.
They sent Josh Briggs over there. So that's fine. And here's the thing. I love the idea, and I think AJ also touched on this. I love the idea of like excursions. And you have like Japanese wrestlers that will be sent away on excursion. They'll come to the States, they'll go to whatever, UK, different parts of the world, and then eventually they'll return. Even Okada did that. When Okada was working for TNA many, many years ago, and they treated him like a fucking clown there. Yeah, he was on excursion. He came back, he was the Rainmaker, and the rest is history. I love the idea that if WWE has these talents that they're not using, or that they feel like that maybe they're not getting as many reps because they're barely running any live events. They don't do live events domestically anymore. Why not send them to a maybe it's Pro Wrestling Noah, but why not send them to a promotion in Japan or to AAA, being that they have the ownership stake in there? Send them on excursion. 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, whatever it may be, and let them learn a different style, or let them work with those talents and let them up their game and hone their craft. And when they come back, they'll be a better performer. You know, they'll be a more well-rounded performer. Maybe they'll kind of put the pieces together if they couldn't figure it out before. I'm all for that. I think that would be a great idea. What he's talking about, though, in terms of like acquisition, is very, very different.
He wants everything to look and feel like WWE.
And that's the last thing that anybody should be wanting. I don't give a shit how slick their TV production looks. Nobody should be hoping for that.
No, that would look weird.
Nobody should be. I mean, my God, can we not?
No.
I don't want everything looking and sounding the same.
No. If that's the case, then there's no like pro wrestling at that point would what's the point? Like the whole reason why fans love pro wrestling is because there's so much variety.
But I think that's still deep down. I think that's still their goal.
It is their goal.
World domination.
That NXT takeover board still looms large in the boardroom. Yeah,
it was that map, and that never went away.
Nope, that was the goal from the very beginning. Why they called it takeover? Now you know. Anyway, we'll shift gears to AEW. That was the last of the WWE discussion here. Actually, there is one note here from TNA. This is if WWE wants to up their tag team division. I mean, look no further here. This is a solid team. Sinner and Saint gone from TNA. Judas Icarus and Travis Williams have been released from the promotion. This news was revealed on Thursday. They are both from British Columbia. First appeared on TNA television in 2024, losing to the Rascals. They arrived in TNA with a very strong independent reputation built across Defy, Destiny, DPW, Prestige. So they are no longer with the company. Neither Icarus nor Williams have commented publicly, but they are gone from TNA. Now, I don't know what WWE's plans are for the tag team division, Jason. We saw another Big Cass promo. Again, no Enzo at all in any of these vignettes last night.
Was that not his voice in the voiceover?
That was not his voice, no. I don't think it was.
Kind of sounded like him.
But there was no...
Could have been Cass. It could have been Cass.
Yeah. I didn't get a sense that there was... Maybe they're saving Enzo because Enzo's a little bit too... I mean, how do you hide him? They're not really doing a good job of hiding Big Cass either. Let you know it's Big Cass. But if they're going to bring them in together, I feel like you're going to need a solid division to build around them. And right now they don't have that. I'm not saying Sinner and Saint are going to be a good option here to bring to the main roster. I could see them easily going to an NXT. What do you make of this? I mean, this is a solid team here.
Yeah. I have no idea why TNA didn't feature them on their show. They requested their release.
Yeah.
So again, they were not released. They went to them and said, we want out. You could add them to the list. It's a growing list of talents that have gone to TNA and said, hey, I want out. Let me out of my cage. And so they let them go. I think they wrestled 4 times on TNA television this year. I have no idea why. I have no idea why they were not being utilized. We've had the chance to see them and call some of their matches on the independent scene. So we're familiar with, the fact that they're a good tag team. If WWE was serious about building up their division, yeah, they would be a solid addition to that. They haven't demonstrated that they are serious about that, but if they were, I would definitely pick them up. Even if you start them in NXT, but you need real teams. They don't have enough real teams. Well, now you have a real team that just became available.
Yeah, the notes, the report says here, Icarus had previously said that Alexander and the Motor City Machine Guns, I guess that's Josh Alexander, put in a good word for the team and help open doors into TNA. I wonder if that is actually going to be the same thing maybe to AEW. That tag team division is going to look vastly different in the next 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens with those two guys. Solid team there. Speaking of AEW, Dynamite on Wednesday was a head scratcher in the worst way possible. I hated this show on Wednesday. I did not like anything about this show. And
really?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was largely a waste of 2 hours and 20 minutes. Why they needed a 20-minute overrun is beyond me. But all the more reason why I think our arguments about why MJF going into Wembley Stadium now stand even more proven to be correct. Because what they did on Wednesday's show was mind-boggling. We'll start at the top. We had Cope and Cage defending the tag team championships against Wheeler Yuta and Danny Garcia. Now, this match was made literally an hour before Dynamite went on the air Wednesday. No build-up, no nothing. We got a decent match here because that's exactly what these teams do.
Well, it's the Death Riders C team.
Yes.
You have the A team.
Yes.
That's Moxley, basically. You have the B team, which is what we're getting at Redemption.
Yeah.
And this was the C team. So to get to the B team, I guess the logic here is that they had to beat the C team first, I guess, because didn't Claudio and Pac run out after to attack them?
Yes. Before that happened, we saw the Young Bucks applauding in the crowd with Excalibur exclaiming that they want to get back into tag team title contention.
Well, okay, I'm going to stop you there. I have a very basic question to ask you.
Okay.
Why is it that the Young Bucks hope to get back into tag team title contention, implying that they have to fight their way back into contention, but Tony Khan is okay with just sort of gifting a title match here to a team like Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia? If it's so easy for them to get a tag team title match, then how come the Young Bucks have to fight their way back into contention when they are the quintessential like AEW tag team?
Well, you see, Tony wants to save the Young Bucks Cope and Cage match for Wembley Stadium.
Well, I know that, but like the logic behind it doesn't really
awful.
make a whole lot of sense to me.
So they were in the crowd. You mentioned Claudio coming out. He hits the ring. He attacks Cope and Cage. Clear heel maneuver here. So once again, the Death Riders, I don't know where they stand. So the Bang Bang Gang come on out. Jay White comes on out. And we got this little thing between the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs. And none of this screams interesting whatsoever. So we have to see where Jay White and David Finlay fit into the All-In plans, whether it's a one-on-one match or maybe that's a one-on-one match for Redemption. Then we get a multi-man affair at Wembley Stadium. I don't know. But just keep in the back of your mind, Chad. I mentioned this on Wednesday. Claudio attacked the baby faces here. Okay? So just so that you're aware. We got Andrade. Now, this was interesting. Andrade was interviewed by Renee. Apparently, he had possession, Jason, of MJF's Dynamite Diamond ring. He said he had a good friend who gave it to him, and Renee asked if that friend was Will Ospreay because he was the last one with the ring on Beach Break. Andrade simply said, tranquilo, how you know? So are we looking at MJF, who's not on Redemption, by the way? Are we looking at MJF and Andrade in regards to the Dynamite Diamond ring going into Wembley Stadium? Is that what we got going on?
I mean, I don't know if it's Wembley or, again, it could be Arena Mexico.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
But, I mean, we have to get the match. I mean, they've teased it for so long, it's going to happen. But maybe it's not a Wembley match. Maybe it's a... Because I think the Mexico show is August 5th, I think.
Yeah, I like it there, yeah.
So I would do it there. I mean, the heat in that building would be incredible.
Yeah, that's a good place to do it there. We got Andrade versus Jake Doyle. This was the only match that was actually announced before an hour before the show. So we got Andrade. This was actually announced last week at Beach Break. Andrade says he's going to go through all of the Don Callis family and take all their titles on his way to the world title. It's going to be quite the
He's
opposite.
going to go through all the members of the Callis family. So he's not winning that world championship for about 3 years now. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, it'll be his road to Ithaca. I don't know how long that's going to take, but
it's going to be an odyssey for Andrade to get to the world championship.
I don't know, man. Andrade. Listen, he's doing some fantastic work. This was very predictable stuff here. He beat one of the bench warmers here in the Don Callis family and Jake Doyle. Now he gets Mark Davis at Redemption for the AEW national title. Now, this should be a banger match. I got to admit it.
The end of the road for Mark Davis, I fear.
Yeah. You mark.
I'm a mark for Mark Davis.
Should be a good match.
It would be a very good match, but I don't see how Andrade doesn't win the title here.
No, he has to. We got the Kenny Omega AEW World Championship celebration. Now, the Young Bucks come on out. They needed their 10 seconds of fame here standing next to the new world champion. Did you see that they had New Day-inspired T-shirts on? Did you see that?
I did not. No.
Yeah, they had New Day-inspired T-shirts, yeah.
But they've worn that recently. There was a backstage segment a few weeks ago where I think or maybe Nick Jackson was wearing a shirt that was very similar to like a New Day type shirt. I think that this is something that they have been subtly or not so subtly doing for a while. I don't think this is the first time they've done that. Clearly, they're dropping hints.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I didn't notice that on Wednesday, though. I wasn't paying attention to their shirt. I was paying attention to the belts. And it's funny to me that you listen to like Excalibur on commentary and they talk about that Triple B like it's like the most disgusting thing. And I'm like, actually, it's a pretty fucking great belt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the belts. They're like shading the belt like it's some ugly, you would think it's like the hardcore title, in tatters and tape all over it and stuff. But they were there to take the MJF belt away and present him with the traditional AEW World Championship on a black strap. I will say, like, it's still outside of the IWGP belt. I think it's the best looking belt in wrestling.
Yes, it is, especially in the United States. It's the top looking belt in the United States for sure.
That's one thing that they got right from day one was the design of that belt.
Yeah, the Triple B is also a very beautiful belt. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yes.
So Kenny Omega's out here. He's going over. This was a very long segment. I mean, Meltzer claimed that this was his best promo work ever in the United States. And I'm listening to Meltzer explain this, and I'm like, what the fuck did you listen to?
Yeah, it doesn't speak very well then to his promo ability. He thought that was his best U.S. promo.
I don't know what Meltzer
wasn't his worst either, but I mean, I didn't think it was anything special.
No.
Omega is not really known for being a strong promo to begin with. I mean, is he considered a great promo guy?
No, I don't look at any of his promo works as a good promo.
No. I mean, but again, I mean, he was fine, but to call it his best ever U.S. promo, I'm like, I mean, what are you comparing it to? If this is his best, I mean, geez.
Well, he thanked the fans. He thanked his AEW family. 50 days from Wembley. And he says that he promises in 50 days' time you'll see the best version of Kenny Omega. So out comes Will Ospreay. He wants a one-on-one conversation with Omega. He asked the Bucks to leave. So he said it was important for Omega to believe in himself. And he was there to see Omega wrestle 25 minutes in that heat in Clearwater, not giving up on himself. He said the best bout machine is back. And now that they are closer to Wembley, things will heat up. They're two alpha males. Ospreay said for 10 years, Omega has been his hero, his inspiration, and can only thank him each time he steps foot in the ring with him. Ospreay thinks of AEW. He thinks of Omega as all he ever wanted was to be a fraction of what Omega is, but he's not satisfied at being second. Omega says he shouldn't be. Ospreay said every week they'll be out here showing everyone why they're in the position that they're in. Wembley Stadium, let's show them this is where the best wrestle. So we're off to exactly the start that I expected, which I am not surprised by. But Jesse on Wednesday told me, he's like, give this time. There will probably be some friction between Ospreay and Omega. And he's right. This is not really kickstarting the Omega-Ospreay feud, but I think we are in agreement, Jason, that it's going to be the Death Riders kind of getting in between and Jon Moxley wedged in between Omega and Ospreay, maybe pulling Ospreay to one side and Omega trying to pull Ospreay back because he doesn't want Moxley to influence Will Ospreay?
Yeah, I mean, Moxley is going to be the key element here. And I think Moxley, there was a backstage segment where Moxley walked up to Omega later in the show, and I think he made a comment like sometimes people aren't as they appear to be, or it was something to that effect. So it would seem to me like he's going to be the key element that's going to cause friction between the two of them. Again, it's like the Cody and Punk stuff. Like at first it was very lovey-dovey, brother, you and I have been friends and we've avoided this. And now it's finally starting to break down. I have to imagine that it will be the same. And we have a lot more time before we get to London than we do SummerSlam. We can't have another 4 weeks of this.
No.
We can't have another 3 weeks of this. So Moxley causing tension between the two of them would seem to be the direction here. And I still feel like Moxley gets the first shot coming out of All In anyway. So he's kind of tied into the whole story anyway.
So at the end of that, Kevin Knight comes on out, and he is the current TNT champion. He's out there to confront Kenny Omega. So he's talking to Kenny Omega, and he explains to Omega that he's still owed a world title shot courtesy of Maxwell Jacob Fraudman, and there's a debt still to be paid. So Omega is going on about issuing a challenge for the world title at Redemption, and the crowd is chanting, no, no, no.
Did you notice that Kenny Omega was incapable of saying the name Maxwell?
I thought he said What was he saying? I thought he said Maxie.
He kept saying it sounded like Maxiv or Maxib, and he said it like fucking 4 times in this promo. I'm like, he can't say the name.
I didn't notice that. I just thought he was calling him Maxie, like Maxi Pad.
No. I thought at first he misspoke, and then he did it again, and he did it again. And I'm like, at that point, like, just call him Max. You know what I mean? Like, he sounded like Maxiv.
So we got Omega saying Maxiv, and we got Michael Cole saying Joe Henry.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't know.
Maybe we should go on commentary on August 7th and mispronounce somebody's fucking name just for the hell of it.
It reminds me like LA Knight was at Fanatics Fest, and he was sitting down being interviewed, and they were talking. Somebody brought up Trick Williams, and he said, "I don't get that whole thing." He goes, like he comes out and like the whole thing is like whoop that Trick. He goes, but like that implies that you want Trick to get whooped, but like they're cheering for him, but it doesn't make sense. And then the person like that was interviewing him goes, yeah, but maybe it was Sam Roberts. And he said, yeah, but I think if you put the comma after whoop that, then it changes the whole meaning of it, where it's like whoop that Trick. And he's like, I don't know about that. It sounds a little weird. Yeah, so this sounded very weird. I don't know why he was having trouble saying his name. It was just funny to me. Like I thought I misheard him the first time, and I'm like, no, he kept on doing it. I don't know if it was like an inside joke or what, but
I don't know. I mean, they made fun of his Triple B. Maybe they're making fun of his name too. I don't know. Omega said Knight is trying to hold Omega accountable for a promise MJF made. They're not going to do that. What they are going to do, maybe Omega will give him a shot just because he's a nice guy. Maybe because the first time Omega saw Knight, he saw something special. Here we go. That he has it. Someone that looked the part, faster than everyone, jumped higher than everyone, and someone that was hungry. That's where it ended, because Knight went and aligned himself with Don Callis. Omega says he's a hypocrite if he told everyone he never believed in what Callis sold him, as the last time he was world champion was thanks to Callis. It was during the coronavirus when no one was able to show up, when Omega realized that if they could, they wouldn't have shown up, as his worth fell right down the toilet. He didn't deserve anything. Omega told Knight, trust him. He doesn't need Callis. The same words that Speedball Mike Bayley, Will Ospreay, or the fans believe. Knight could do this all on his own. So basically, Omega ends this promo saying that if you want redemption, then I want the Jet, not Don Callis's little bitch. If you're going to be Jet 2 belts, do it on your own, big boy. So Kevin Knight then says he makes a good point, but the one thing he's wrong about is that there's no goodness in his heart, only greatness. So then that's when we get a brawl, but I'm going to stop there before we get on to what happened next. Jason, you do realize that, they are, first of all, they took the belt off MJF to give us this exhilarating main event at Redemption, and I'm asking, whose redemption is it here going into Montreal? That's number one. Number two, This is basically a rerun of last year's Hangman and Kyle Fletcher match. And coincidentally, Kyle Fletcher was the TNT champion then, but it was the same language. Hangman said, I want the real Kyle Fletcher. I want the future showing up. I want you to do this on your own away from the Don Callis family and show me what you got. Now, Kenny Omega saying that here to Kevin Knight. Why are we running the same angle that we did with Hangman and Kyle Fletcher last year, going to All In here with Omega and Kevin Knight going into Redemption?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually the third time now in less than a year that the TNT champion is challenging and losing to the world champion. So this is becoming kind of a recurring thing now. I still don't have a good, or I haven't been given a good answer as to why Kenny Omega and MJF is not happening on this show. Like,
did you see the TSN?
I did.
The TSN thing.
Evidently, they forgot to tell TSN and their 1.2 million followers on X when they posted a tweet yesterday promoting Redemption as, will Kenny Omega become a 2-time world champion and get his redemption? I'm like,
bro, that was a scheduled tweet that they absolutely forgot was scheduled. No doubt.
Who wants to tell? But it also shows that plans did change very late in the game on this. And the entire pay-per-view was named and designed for Kenny Omega to get his redemption. And now to the question that you asked, this is it would seem to me like they have pivoted to this being the redemption of Kevin Knight, which is which is wild to me because look at the comments that were made. Kenny Omega just spent the majority of this promo putting over Kevin Knight and talking about how I still believe you've got goodness in your heart. And later on in the show, Mike Bailey, right, confronted Knight and said, I'll be here when the old Kevin Knight comes back, right? They're talking him up like they're trying to pull the old Kevin Knight out. And I'm like, he just joined the Don Callis family less than 2 months ago, right? That was double or nothing when he went heel and joined the Callis family.
Yeah.
It's too soon. If that's what this is, and that was my takeaway out of Dynamite, it's way too soon to be doing a redemption arc, is it not, with Kevin fucking Knight of all people?
A redemption from what? He attacked Darby Allin.
The redemption meaning bringing him back to like the goodness that's in him, the good guy that he was before.
I don't know. Maybe I look at redemption in a different way. Like I want someone. I almost treat redemption as like revenge. Like, or I'm getting what I finally deserve after all this time.
No, it doesn't have to be revenge. No, it doesn't have to be revenge. It can be revenge.
Yeah.
But like redemption could also be like in the case of him. Kenny is telling him, "I know you don't need Don Callis. Don's a prick. Don't rely on him. You could do this on your own." And so the idea would be like if he comes to the same realization, then he'll refuse any help from the Callis family. Maybe he'll leave the Callis family. And I'm like, it can't possibly be that because he just joined. Like, he hasn't been evil for that long for it to even really matter. It's almost like I hope that's not what this is because there's speed running through it if that's the case. Because it's sure as hell not the redemption of Kenny Omega anymore.
So they're giving up on heel Kevin Knight, maybe?
I don't know if they are or not, but like if you watch that show and you look at all these segments, how can you not have that takeaway from it? That's the story they're trying to build, is that he's going to take Kenny's advice, he's going to leave the Callis family at home, and he's going to do what he is capable of doing all by himself without their help. So that's weird to me. But just moving the whole Omega MJF match in the first place is weird. And here's the other weird thing. So what happened when this was over is Darby Allin ran out and he attacked Kevin Knight on stage because they still have an issue that is unresolved. Even though he's going to get a world title match now, he's actually actively feuding with Darby Allin. They're doing a TNT championship match tomorrow. They're doing it on Dynamite. When this was all over, I said, why didn't they just have a non-title match between the two of them tomorrow for the #1 contendership and let them fight for it? And the winner goes on to challenge Omega for the title at Redemption. Because Darby had the title, right? And he wants to get the belt back. Kevin Knight's been talking about wanting to be Jet 2 belts. So you can put them in the ring together. You could save the TNT title match for Wembley if you want, but make it a #1 contenders match. Instead of Omega going, well, because I'm a good guy, I guess I'll give you a title shot. Would that not have made more sense? And now you have a match tomorrow that conceivably could go either way, because there are people probably who would look at that and go, oh, the title's not on the line. So Darby might win, and maybe it's Darby and Kenny at Redemption. right? But then Kevin Knight pulls out the win. That's what if this is the match you want to do, that's how I would have done it. Instead of just throwing it out there like that, like you expect me to live up to a promise that MJF made you. I'm not going to do that. But you know what? I'll give you a shot anyway because I'm a good guy.
It's amazing how we're all running in circles to try and figure out what is best for this show when the legitimate best thing he had was the fucking match he did 2 weeks ago.
Which tells me there has to be more to this than we know. Like MJF, especially if the report that came out was that this was an MJF idea.
Listen, if it's an MJF idea, it sucks. It sucks.
Look, if he doesn't have like a movie filming or it's not injury related, it was a dumb idea. It was a very stupid idea. The biggest match that you could give those fans in Montreal, right? This brand new pay-per-view, which really doesn't even need to exist, right? But you wanted to have another pay-per-view on the calendar. You're in Montreal. It's called Redemption. Like, it can't be anything other than Kenny Omega getting his redemption and beating MJF to win the world title. So absolutely just a dumb move to move that match up. Even though they did big numbers for it, they did a big rating for it. But we're on the same page there. It was very, very stupid.
Can I just add? I know you tried to explain Kevin Knight, and maybe that's what the name of the pay-per-view now will be, kind of leaning towards his redemption against Don Callis, or they're trying to pull the old.
Well, if they want a redemption arc for somebody, there ain't nobody else that it fits. Who else would be getting their redemption on this show?
What I wanted to say, don't you think Kevin Knight and Darby Allin fits more in a TNT title match on that show after what happened to Darby at the end of Double or Nothing?
Well, not if they want to save it for Wembley. It's the Young Bucks.
You could run it back at Wembley, though. You don't have to just make it one and done. Run a rematch back and give Darby the title at Wembley.
Sure, I mean you could do that if you want to, but I'm just looking at this as if they don't want to do Kenny Omega and MJF, and they didn't want to do Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada, which would have been the other match that would have made sense if you want like a marquee match, then this is the match that they're going to do. At least set it up with a match for the number one contendership. I thought it was very weak the way that they set it up on this show.
I agree with that, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying there. And so here's the thing about them not doing, let's say, Kenny and Okada. That I would have loved to have seen that match. And the redemption thing would still work, right? Because the last time they wrestled, Kenny lost. So now he can get his redemption, this legendary feud, and he finally, he gets the win back over Okada. Fine. What Tony Khan seems to be trying to do here is like the Kyle Fletcher thing from last year. He wants to take a younger guy on the roster and give them the rub by having them work for the world title in the main event of a pay-per-view, where he's sending them out there and it's like, okay, like show everybody what you can do. We've banked a lot on you. We see a lot of potential in your future. We're going to put you in a big spot, and we're going to try to elevate Kevin Knight in this way. Like if you put Okada in there, you're not really elevating anybody. Here, he's trying to put a young guy in there and elevate him, and that's very noble. But if you're looking for like a marquee main event for this first Redemption show, you had it. You had it, and you gave it away. And I still don't have a logical explanation for why that was done.
Well, the ticket sales for this show are not very good. They only have 55 tickets out the door. I guarantee you if they kept the match with 5,500, sorry.
That'd be pretty bad if they only had 55. Yeah, that's not a good number. For a pay-per-view, that's not a good number.
If they kept the MJF Omega match, that would probably be closer to 8,000, I would say, by the time the bell rings. Yeah, if you wanted to do Okada and Omega too, I guarantee you they'd be looking at least 7,000 right now.
Yeah, it's not a good number. It's just not a good number. No matter how you spin it. And I know they have a lot of late walk-up for a lot of these shows, so we'll see what the final number is. But, yeah, if it feels to you like this show is very rushed, because we came into Wednesday last week, we only knew one match for this show. We were 10 days out. We had one match. By the time Dynamite was over, or like where we are now, we have 8.
Can I have it pulled up here?
That's pretty rushed.
This is what we're looking at, and this was going to be my next question to you because I know how I feel about this. Kevin Knight Omega main event. Tekla Willow won the gauntlet match last week. That was already set in stone coming out of Beach Break. We got Cope and Christian defending against Claudio and Pac for the tag team championships. Why? Beats me. I don't have an explanation. Kyle Fletcher and Bandito. This will be for the international championship. Bandito just wrestled Jon Moxley for the Continental title at the last pay-per-view. And now he's going
champion against champion match.
And now he's going up against the international champion, so he's going to lose both of these matches while being the Ring of Honor champion. Doesn't make any sense.
And how this match came about was he walked by Kyle Fletcher's promo that he was cutting in the back, and he didn't like that very much.
That's how it came about. So 1 week build.
Yeah.
Shida versus Maya World for the TBS title. Andrade versus Mark Davis for the national title. And then we got apparently Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay will be going up against the Young Bucks. And then we got the Painmaker, Chris Jericho, against.
Did you see that promo?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh my God! It lingered on him for an uncomfortable period of time at the end. There, he had this weird like smile on his face, but I just look at him like
he thinks he's Alice Cooper, bro.
The poor makeup, just like one little streak under the eyes, and I'm like, is this supposed to be like the intimidating version of Jericho?
He thinks he's Alice Cooper, the rock musician.
Oh my God!
So he's going.
I know who Alice Cooper is.
All right. I'm sure
WrestleMania celebrity Alice.
Yeah,
Cooper.
There you go. Tommaso Ciampa no holds barred match with the Painmaker. And then the buy-in will be celebrating 80 years of the Rougeau wrestling dynasty. Bro, is this pay-per-view worth it? How can Tony Khan justify spending $50 on an over-enhanced collision card, bro? Seriously. That's what this is.
I mean, it's an unnecessary pay-per-view. I don't know why they added it.
He had a main event that didn't really make it unnecessary about 3 weeks ago.
Well, but now it is. I'm saying now it's unnecessary. Like the idea of him getting his redemption, that's what the whole thing was built around. This is where we are. Now they changed it, and now it's like, look, there's some strong matches on the card. Kyle Fletcher and Bandito, it's impossible for them to go out there and have a bad match.
Andrade and Mark Davis is going to go 15, 20 minutes, and they're going to put on a great match.
You're going to get a bunch of and look, Kenny Omega and Kevin Knight. You're going to get a bunch of banger matches on the card, as we do every single month on these pay-per-views. But in terms of there being a need for redemption, it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
You know, they unlike WWE, who are not in the pay-per-view business anymore, AEW is in the pay-per-view business. And we know how much money they can make on these shows. And he keeps adding shows. He wants to, make more money by adding a pay-per-view that was completely unneeded. That's what it feels like. That's where we are.
So the rest of this show, not worth mentioning, but the main event was Mercedes and Divine Dominion against Willow, Hyon, and Maya World. Why this was in the main event when we had 2 championship matches on this show? I don't know.
Because they were in Boston. Mercedes is from Boston, so they put her in the main event.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, that's the reason why they did it.
Did it need a 20-minute overrun?
No.
Okay.
I was actually shocked because, again, I didn't see the show live. I was a little preoccupied with other issues that were going on. So I saw the show the next day. So I didn't realize that the show had gone, what was it, 22? Was it 22 minutes over?
Something, yeah.
And they went to commercial at like 10:06 or something. They're still taking commercial breaks. The show was basically 2.5 hours.
Yeah, yet on Beach Break, they fucking cut away after Kenny Omega won the title. See you next week. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. But no, it did not need to go fucking 20 plus minutes for an overrun.
Bro, it's like watching 2 different companies, man. I said this to Jesse. It's like watching it's like 2 steps forward and 5 steps back with this place. And then they announce Hangman on Collision, literally 48 hours, the same night that Conor McGregor is fighting Max Holloway, and then they have no mention of Hangman coming back on Dynamite whatsoever.
You would never even know. Dude, they showed Collision highlights of Mark Davis against Speedball. They showed Collision highlights of Hikaru Shida beating up Harley Cameron.
Oh, my God.
They didn't even mention the name Hangman. If you would never even know that this former world champion who's been missing for 4 months returned on Collision. They didn't even mention his name. They didn't show highlights. Is he exclusive to Collision now?
I don't know. I don't know what
even
goes
if
through
he
Tony's
is,
head. I really don't.
Even if he is, how do you not mention his return? How does that happen?
It's a sloppy shop. What do you want me to say? I don't know.
I don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, man, nobody's perfect. Both companies are shit in the bed lately. I don't know what to tell you, but these mistakes, man, they're like when you see the amount of bad that we get, man, the bad, when it's this bad, is going to be highlighted even more. Like, come on. I don't know. That was Dynamite. Again, I did not like that show last week. Jesse
I mean, look, there was a lot to pick apart there. I heard, who was it who went off on Dynamite?
Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, and so that was before I had a chance to watch it. I'm like, oh boy. And so I watched the show and I was like, you know what? This was not, I didn't think it was as bad as he made it out to be. For me, it was a very just middle of the road show.
Well, he was frustrated because Dave said this was a great show.
Oh, okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah,
Dave,
I think his entire 6-minute rant was on Dave. He wasn't even with Dave when he cut that.
I think he's kind of fed up with Dave at this point.
Yeah,
that's right. Dave, because Dave was like, "Oh, I thought it was a great show. It was a great show," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what were you watching?" So that's what it was. Yeah, I just thought it was a huge, step down from Beach Break, but it was like it didn't offend me to where I was like angry, like some shows sometimes do. It was just like, all right, this is a very middle of the road show. But yeah, I forgot about Dave. Dave was like glowing about that show.
He's glowing every week about this show. I don't know, but
what is this thing where Mercedes is having some fun with it, but like he was in attendance at Forbidden Door.
Yes.
So he was in the building, and then he had people who said to him, "You have to watch the match on TV because you may feel differently about it." And so it's almost as if he has actively tried to avoid watching, because it's been a month now and he still hasn't watched the match back. And people are on him because, how come you haven't watched it? You just don't want to give Mercedes 5-star. All the Mercedes fans are just all over him now. And did you see the images of Dave in Mexico?
I did.
I think he might have been at Arena Mexico. This is like a religious voyage for him. I don't think he's ever been there before. So all on my timeline, I see pictures of Dave Meltzer in the crowd, and they're showing him, and he's waving. And people are joking like, anything to avoid watching the Mercedes in My World match. He fled to Mexico to avoid watching it. He still hasn't given a star rating, so people are freaking out about this.
I know Mercedes is probably being like sarcastic with. She doesn't need his approval. Like, the match was great. You don't need to see Dave's 5-star rating for that.
But people are they're losing their minds over this.
Ridiculous. Before we get to the super chats, just a quick update on all-in ticket sales here. As of, this is July 21st is the latest today, 8:30 p.m. The updated ticket sales read 31,982 with a current setup of 40,661. So I asked you last week, I think they get close to 50. You still think they won't get close to 50?
I know they're going to go up quite a bit from where they are now, because as they get closer to the event, people are waiting for prices maybe to drop.
Just for context, in 2024, they did 53,922. I don't think they break that record, no.
So, but you said 50,000.
I think they get close.
Said, well, no, I think you said 50. Okay, so you think close to 50.
Yeah.
I said 40-ish. I think they will end up in the low 40s.
Okay.
So somewhere in like the 40 to 42 range.
Okay.
And I cap it at that. I don't think they're going to get more than that.
All right, we'll see. Listen, whatever the case may be, I think this is the last year they should run Wembley. So,
but I mean, look, I could be wrong, because apparently they shot up by like 4,000 tickets or something like that after Kenny won the belt from MJF.
Yeah, but that was also still when the tickets were still 50% off. They ended that.
Okay.
They ended that. I think after he won it, the week after he won it.
Okay, so now we'll get a better sense then of like how, because the thing is, like, there's still, was it 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
It is a little bit more than 5.5 weeks, I would say.
All right. Well, look, I mean, look, I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I think they do 40-ish. You say 50-ish. Maybe they'll be 45, and we'll both be wrong.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. Ticket sale. Everybody's harboring over ticket sales lately. All in SummerSlam. It's like the thing to talk about now. So that's the latest there, and that is all we got as far as the news. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. We're going to get into the super chats and then bid you farewell on this Tuesday night. Thank you.
Hey, happy birthday, Charlie. Charlie in the chat says tomorrow's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Charlie. Appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you so much. Let's get into the super chats here. Again, follow Jason on social media, on YouTube. Everything will be linked down below to go follow him and find him. He will be live tomorrow night for Dynamite. And I wasn't live last week because of certain electrical issues. But he is back and fully functioning now. Clearly, he's here.
Yes, I am at full capacity. I'm in full gear.
Yes.
And ready to go.
So go and do that. Hit that thumbs up. Super chats will remain open. I see a decent amount, so get them on in. And if you guys are watching after the fact, a comment would be greatly appreciated. Let us know what you think of all this week's wrestling news.
I'm looking. The WWE posted 10 o'clock when NXT ended. They posted a video clip of Mike Santana coming out. And so the caption is, "Wow, a new face has stormed into NXT." And so no mention of his name. And so the comments underneath, like, "This isn't a new face. Say his damn name and don't fucking change it. Seriously, tell me y'all aren't about to change Mike Santana's name." Like, comment after comment after comment.
I think someone in the chat said that Mike Santana just recently trademarked his own name.
Beginning of May, he trademarked it.
Yeah.
Which could mean that, unless he gives them approval, that they can't use it.
We'll see. I don't know.
But look, I mean, Joe Hendry got to keep his name. Jordan Grace kept her name. So let's... I mean, you would never know because she's never on TV anymore, but like, let's see what happens with Santana. It's too early to say. And
one of the coolest names that they had come in from the Indies, Nikki Blackheart, changed her name to Raina Vulcan.
Sounds like something off Star Trek.
I don't know where they come up with these names, man.
Raina Vulcan?
Yeah.
Oh, but so that's cooler than Nikki Blackheart, right?
No, not on any planet I know. No.
Well, the planet Vulcan, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe she could have fucking what's his name on Star Trek? Spock. Not Spock. What was from? What is he from? Star Trek. The last generation. What was he? Data. The guy that was
with the glasses. Yeah.
Just have her come out with her.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah. Jean-Luc Picard now managing Raina Vulcan. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD Jason, OTS, TNT. How you know? Yeah. Thank you, Michael. I love Michael Krause. Give me Backshots Solomonster with a $4.99. Roman is worse than Reign of Terror Triple H. That was awful. But at least Triple H put over Batista and Benoit multiple times. Imagine Roman doing that for anyone.
Well, he put over Cody.
He did. After almost 1,400 days, yeah. I don't know, man. Roman just needs to show up to work. He promised us full time, and he's not living up to his end of the deal. That's all I know. Emperor Immortal Phoenix with a new membership. Thank you, Emperor. Appreciate you being a Johnny Boy Vaccaro. $10 super chat. Hey, JD Jason, today is my big 4-0, and happy to be spending it with the family. I'll catch up on this episode later. OTS and TNT for life. Thank you, Johnny Boy. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, man.
The big 4-0, man. It's a big number. Enjoy it. Jason Bark with 42 months. What's up, everybody? He says, Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard think that Otis from Alpha Academy needs to help Roman Reigns with his promos. No doubt. Is that something on Unreal that I didn't catch? I don't know.
I feel like everybody just, as soon as they drop all the episodes, they scour them immediately for like the juiciest quotes, and then they just post them all on social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still like not even done with the first episode yet.
You don't even need to sign into your Netflix account. You can consume all the episodes on Twitter the moment you wake up.
Basically, I feel like I'm absorbing all of them without actually watching them.
Hollywood Guy with a $5 super chat. Heel Lyra gives me Nikki Cross sanity vibes, and she should go to AEW and team with Mercedes and win the tag belts. Get it? Ha 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 ha. No, I don't get it. What does that mean?
I don't know. But that reminds me that the Wyatt Six folks, if they're not free, they're about to become free.
Yeah, we could see Kaylee Ray end up in AEW too. And we could
I think she's been free for. I feel like she's been free for a while.
Yeah.
She's appeared on some shows, but I think the Wyatt Six folks, I think this week maybe are free agents, and then you got Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. There's going to be some names that are going to become free very shortly, and it'll be interesting to see where they land.
Chrono with a $5 super chat. Stephen Farrelly versus Charles Mason. Book it, commish. Triple J, JD, Jason, Jesse, SummerSlam discussion would be cool. Doomsday trailer, fire emoji. Much love, guys. The Doomsday trailer did look good. I was a little taken aback by that
Robert Downey Jr. voice.
Oh, I didn't notice.
The accent?
No, I didn't notice. I was looking more for Doomsday, what he was going to look like. Doomsday's a cool fucking character, man. I like Doomsday. Did you see the trailer today for this new horror movie coming out in October called
Other Mommy?
Other Mommy, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks pretty
I
good.
did. It does look. It's the table spot.
Yeah.
Freaked me out.
Yeah. I jumped in my chair watching it from my seat here. I'm like, oh
I've
shit.
already got it. I've already got the date marked down. I'm actually going on Thursday to see this movie, The Invite.
Ah, okay.
Which is that new Seth Rogen movie, which has been getting great reviews.
Is it a comedy?
So, it's a comedy. I feel like I need a comedy to cleanse my palate after some of the more serious stuff that I've gone to see. So.
Yes. You'll watch that,
really,
and then you'll end up on Oak Street with the rest of us.
That'll be the next one. Oak Street is, I think, August 14th or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So that'll be the next one.
The former Sheamus versus Charles Mason. Man, I'd love to see it. Hopefully it happens.
Hey, those whether those discussions are going to happen or not, we'll keep that close to the vest.
Yes. Big E to win with a $9.99. Are you saying that if Bayley leaves WWE and goes to AEW as Davina Rose, we won't hear Solo Davina, sorry. We won't hear Solo call Davina role model. How you know? No, there'll be nothing role model-ish about Bayley in AEW. No,
doesn't even make sense. Why do they still have her coming out to that sound effect?
I don't know. It's awful. It is so bad.
It's like I'd rather her just go back to her NXT music and have the friggin' balloons.
Yeah. Chrono with the $2 super chat. Read this in the Leo Rush voice, Solo. Favorite Rock promo.
It's hard to narrow down to just one. Oh, okay. I got one. The Montreal promo. 2003. He was in... no, I'm sorry, not Montreal. I fucked it up. It was... that's the Shawn Michaels promo. I meant Toronto. Remember the Toronto promo?
What did he say?
Faster than a... Well, he said the favorite Rock promo. So he came out as Hollywood Rock the night after he beat Hogan. And he was in Canada, and he cut a promo on them. And he ended it with... stronger than a bear, faster than a buck, the biggest thing to hit Canada because the Maple Leafs suck.
Yes,
and they all booed him. It was like, oh, it's fucking great.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yes.
Michelle with a $5 super chat. What if Seth beats Roman by DQ? Seth Rollins is not beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
The last time they had a match was at the Royal Rumble a few years ago, and that ended by disqualification. So that would be incredibly lame if this one ended with anything but a decisive winner.
How does that affect Seth's feud with Roman and the Bloodline? And can you see Punk and Cody being added to War Games? When Seth is done with Roman, he moves on to whatever he's doing as far as teaming with the other baby faces, I would assume. And Punk and Cody in War Games? No, I don't see it. I don't know what you think. Do you think they need War Games?
I've said my piece. War Games is not needed.
No.
War Games should be reserved for when there is a reason to do War Games, but that would require them, though. See, this is the problem. Because they put together the promotional materials and everything so far in advance, that would require them to have a long-term plan for where they want to go for a War Games match.
Yeah, it would.
So,
I don't trust its administration to do anything right lately.
It's a lot easier for them to just say, well, we're doing War Games every year, and we'll figure it out.
Dave LaGreca said Seth is beating Roman and then feuding with LA Knight. No, they're not taking the belt off Roman Reigns. I'm sorry.
Dave's on the good stuff.
Boss Mo Jackson with the 199. Welcome back, Boss Mo Jackson. Rest in peace, Brenda Fricker, a.k.a. Pigeon Lady. Yes.
Was she like 81? I think she was.
Was she that old?
I'm going to be so impressed with myself if I remember that. What's her name?
Brenda Fricker.
Okay, so Brenda Fricker was 81 years old.
Look at that. Jason got it right.
From Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah. Oh boy. What a coincidence that is, huh? I wonder if it does have something to do with that.
And she died in Dublin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a freaky coincidence there that Lyra Valkyrie almost has similarities there, a lot of them, to her. Crazy. Basic with a 40 months. TKO doesn't care about burning out a wrestler's gimmick. They see them as dollar signs. When their time is up, on to the next one. Yeah. That is factual information there, Basic. Sidro with a $10 super chat. I've combined laxative with alphabet soup. I call it let her rip. And on a flight with my 3 kids.
Yeah, he had some of that iceberg lettuce, apparently. That's been going around.
Yeah, from Taco Bell.
That's a good thing I don't eat Taco Bell.
No, nobody should be eating Taco Bell. On a flight with my 3 kids, lady asked, "Are these kids yours?" I said, "No. I work for a condom company. These are customer complaints."
Did you ever that's not bad. Did you ever see the like on social media? I follow certain accounts on like Instagram, and it's like funny news clips. And there was a news clip from some local newscast somewhere many years ago. And they were playing a joke on the female anchor. She's like this older lady, and she's reading a story about a bomb threat. It might have been at a Taco Bell, honestly, but it was a bomb threat, and she's doing it very seriously. And she's talking about there was a man who ran in and said he was going to go into the bathroom and he was going to blow it up, and she's like going on and talking about the story, and it becomes very clear after a while, like what he was referring to was like he had to take a shit and he was going to go into the bathroom and blow it up. And so as she's reading the story, she like it hits her like what's going on, and you can hear people like giggling in the background, and then she gets it and she goes, okay. She's like, all right. But like she's reading like what the guy was saying, and it's like the most hilarious thing. Like he was they evacuated, I think, and then he was gonna blow it up, and then he did or whatever. And I'm like, where do they find these clips? Like I watch my local newscast occasionally, and it's so boring, and like I never see anything like that on the local newscast.
No, never.
I always have to rely on clips from these little towns and these little cities. And then there was one where there was an alleged rapist on the loose.
Oh,
and the anchor says, we have a sketch of what the alleged perpetrator looks like, and it's this horrible sketch, but it looks very much like the anchor, and they put it in the little box next to it. He's like, if you've seen this, man, just like there's no way this is real, but it is. It's real. Like I looked into it. It's a real thing. I'm very entertained by this.
Now that's a funny one. The sketch about the news anchor. That's funny.
They have compilations. Like you'll laugh your ass off with some of them.
Did you see this? Rollins apparently said that he hasn't properly main evented a WrestleMania. He says a couple of night ones in the cash-in, yada yada. But for me, being on the marquee and headlining night 2, having that is something I've always wanted. This guy was in the main event with Dwayne Johnson on night 1, and he's complaining about him not main eventing a proper WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean that's just and he's not going to. So like he's gonna have to just deal with it. But he'll probably get his night 2 at SummerSlam. So that'll be a nice consolation for us. I don't know.
You may be correct.
I'm feeling like that's how it's probably gonna go. Just again, Roman is the end all be all right now in this company.
Edward with a 199 prediction. Naomi returns in the ladder match at SummerSlam. Oh, we forgot to talk about that tonight. Fuck. The ladder match. That's all right. Yeah, the interim championship thing sucks. I hate it.
It's completely unnecessary.
No.
I've said it before.
They're battling for second place now. You realize that?
Bring back the 30-day rule.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this just nonsense of just people winning champion. We had this with the Judgment Day when they were the tag team champions on Raw, and they went like we were joking
181 days without a
it's like what the fuck? Like what is the point of this? This is so stupid. But whatever. I'm struggling to figure out who's going to fill these 5 spots now that JC Jane's been eliminated. Like we know that Jade isn't. We're not getting Tiffany, or we're not getting Jade and Charlotte 1-on-1. So Jade is in, which means Charlotte is guaranteed to be in. So that's 2, and then Tiffany qualified. So that's going to be 3 spots occupied. Who the hell fits the other 2? Like Blake Monroe hasn't even wrestled a match yet on SmackDown.
No, she should absolutely be in there along with JC Jane. Those would be my other 2 choices. But
Julia, Kiana, like who are you left with outside of that? Alexa, they wrote her off with an injury angle.
They'll probably throw one of the baddies in there, Michin or BFAB.
Oh my god!
Why are they holding a ladder match where Money in the Bank is legitimately a month and a half after this? Does anybody ask that question? Why are we running too, like, the last thing we need is more ladder matches. Seriously. I would love to see Naomi back. I think it's time.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
August will be a year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about that time. Sidro with a 5. Got kicked out of a secret cooking society. I spilled the beans. A cop was crying when writing me a ticket. Asked him why. He said, it's a moving violation. It's a moving violation. Okay, Sidro. Thank you, brother. Broly with the $4.99. How can you get excited for Kendall Gray getting called up when you know they're going to have her in 6-minute matches with Chelsea and wonder why she's not over? Well, you're
wrong. You're totally wrong, dude. She's going to join Alpha Academy. What's wrong with you? You're going to replace Maxine.
Listen, man. He said it. We'll somebody clip it. When she gets called up and we're here 2 years from now and Kendall Gray's in Alpha Academy, like, yeah, I called it.
You heard it here first.
John Lamy, $10 super chat, also 47 months. Thank you, John. No message. Baltimore Jacks with a $9.99. Whenever I see cops and security on wrestling television, I immediately think to myself, these are the next WWE upcoming superstars.
Never forget, in NXT, Samoa Joe was the NXT champion walking down the hallway, and who did he shove out of the way? A young Maxwell Jacob Fraudman.
Mm-hmm. You did?
He was.
Baltimore Jackson with a $1.99. Favorite color and favorite shoe brand?
When I was a wee little lad, I used to wear Stride Right. Have you ever heard of that?
I never heard of that. No.
I had Velcro sneakers from Stride Right. Modern day, Skechers are very comfortable for me.
Yeah,
I have those Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah. I'm familiar. Yeah. I like Nikes. I like the running Nikes, the running shoes. Very comfortable. The slip-in ones. I have 4 or 5 pairs of Jordans upstairs that I don't wear. I also like Adidas. I think Adidas are comfortable.
You don't have any of the Young Bucks sneakers?
No, I don't. No. Or the Swerve pair. I don't have any of those branded WWE.
Who?
Right? The Swerve has a who? What?
Who's Swerve?
Swerve Strickland.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know where he fits in, but he's there. My favorite color, I love blue as well. I like black. Black's my favorite color. I wear a lot of black. Gray, dark gray. Anything's dark. I don't like. The only color I will not wear, colors I will not wear, are yellow and white. I will not wear white. I hate white.
Well, the dark, it matches JD's mood.
Yes. Fart in.
What?
Oh no! This one's from Fart in My Mouth. Solid Monster with a $1.99.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Danhausen and Tozawa on a SummerSlam card is wild. It says Fart in My Mouth. Solid Monster,
but not as wild as this super chat name.
I don't know where these guys go. I wonder which version of myself is going to show up in the super chats. We've had JD from London and JD from Dublin apparently. So
Utah.
Yeah, JD's from Utah. Ugly in the Morning with a $6.99. I just watched the first episode of Unreal. Opinions on Cena saying he was trying to put on the worst, most boring main events possible.
I did see that, but he told us that on television.
Yes.
He said his goal was to ruin wrestling.
And then Triple H said, "What? It's more of a hindrance on the company now."
Yeah,
company
Triple H had to go to Triple H had to go to Cena and say, "Look, I get what you're trying to do." But he was trying to be very diplomatic when he said this. He basically was like, "Yeah, you gotta cut that shit out.
Yeah,
like you still have to go out there and try to have like the best possible match instead of trying to like make every match complete dog shit." Probably figuring that people would bash Triple H for it. Like, please go out there and have a good wrestling match so people will stop saying mean things about me on social media.
Kaz8017 with a $2 super chat. How would you go about merging all the WWE titles?
I mean, the tag team titles is the easiest thing. I mean, you can have a match where you effectively merge them together, and it's basically the reverse of how you split them up in the first place. Whether you want to do a ladder match, I mean, that's entirely up to you. What other titles would we merge?
I tell you what I get rid of. I get rid of the women's tag team title. That's number one.
Sure.
I'd even get rid of the Women's United States title at this point.
No, I don't think you could do that. Really, I would focus on the tag belts.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, I mean that to me is the most ridiculous thing, because they don't have enough depth in the divisions on each individual show to justify having 2 sets of tag team belts. Until they can correct that problem, there's just no need. So to unify them, I think, is something that should have happened. Honestly, it should have happened not long after they de-unified them.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that Damian Priest, R-Truth War Raiders match that we were promised like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, boy. Maybe they'll put that on the SummerSlam card.
Maybe. Baltimore Jackson with $9.99. I honestly think Cena may be the best promo guy in WWE history. The way he murdered and embarrassed Rock and Roman on different occasions was epic. I think Cena can cut a promo on anyone. Prime Cena gets it done. Is Cena the best promo in WWE history? Me personally, no, he's not.
Is he better than Punk?
That's tough. Me personally, I would say Punk is better. Who is the best? I mean, that's a very subjective thing. I mean, you could pick you could pick anybody from the Attitude. I mean Rock, Austin, you know.
But there's also there's different types of promos.
Yeah.
Like Jake Roberts was a great promo.
Yeah, he was great. Mick Foley was a great promo.
Yeah. Piper.
Yeah.
Piper was very he was a psycho. He was very manic. Savage.
Yeah.
Hogan in his own. Yeah, Hogan.
I thought DiBiase was a great promo.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put him in the elite category though. I wouldn't put him on the level of like some of the people we just mentioned. I can't think of any like memorable Ted DiBiase promos the way that I can remember a memorable Rock or Jake or Savage. So they all had their own style. It's hard to say that one was really that much better than the other. But if you're going to have a conversation like a top 5 or a top 3, I think Rock is in there. I think Punk is in there. Cena, would Cena be in your top 3? I see. The thing with Cena is there was for all the great John Cena promos, we had so many awful ones.
Yeah.
Where he had to toe the PG line and he took it way over the top, where he was so just like disingenuously, disgustingly sarcastic in his tone. And it used to aggravate the shit out of me. It would just, and he was like the narrator of the entire show sometimes. So he wasn't even coming out talking about his stuff. He was like summarizing everything we saw on the show. Like he was some great like narrator. And I'm like, what is he doing? It was like, it's a waste of his like promo ability. Because if you give him something to really sink his teeth into and he went after somebody, boy, like he could torch them. Right? I mean, we saw him do it with Rock, and we saw him do it with Austin Theory, and we saw him do it with Roman all those years ago. That was embarrassing the way, frankly, he toyed with Roman in 2017. We know he has that in him, but all those awful, like, bologna, fudge, and mustard, like, oh, God, I can't listen to that. There's so many awful Cena promos that it brings him down. It brings him down for me. So I don't know where he would rank for me, but, like, Rock and Punk to me they're up there. I mean,
it's tough. It's tough. I mean, we're both going to kind of more gravitate to the 80s. I want to say, just because we grew up with him, I mean, Hogan's got to be in the discussion. You know, I thought Flair was a better promo than Hogan. Flair's got to be in the top 3, top
Flair.
5. Yeah.
Hogan, Flair, Savage, all 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
But there were a lot. Dude, here's the thing: what you realize when you go on the Vault or the WCW channel or whatever, and you go back in 80s, 90s wrestling, like the promo work back then as compared to like most of the promo work we have today, it's on another level.
Isn't it? It's night and day.
Like, dude, it's not even comparable.
Yeah, I don't know if that has to do with the people that they hire to be these head writers. Like, I don't know where they come from, what their background is.
I think part of it is just the world we live in, the way that these companies are set up now, maybe certain restrictions, and also like the way they're being taught. You know what I mean? Like these guys that we're talking about right now, they didn't learn how to cut promos at the PC.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't know where they learned how to cut those promos. I don't think they were taught how to do promos like that. they had a natural charisma, and they just developed their own style. And I feel like now things, like they're programmed a certain way. We didn't mention Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great promo guy.
Yep.
Kevin Owens has a knack like a Samoa Joe, and just certain people where when they speak, it doesn't sound phony. It sounds authentic.
Yeah.
It sounds like them. And there just aren't very many wrestlers right now that can do that.
I would urge, if you're a pro wrestler, to watch tapes of everybody we talked about instead of hearing it from somebody at the fucking performance center. I mean, just go back and watch old tapes and watch the vault.
Well, I would imagine that the PC, they probably have them study. I would hope they have them.
That's what I would hope too. Yeah.
I would hope so, but like it's just there was something different about them, and even the ones that didn't make any sense. I mean, you could point to an Ultimate Warrior. 75% of the time, I had no fucking idea what he was talking about. But man, he was just it was a hell of a lot more entertaining than the promos we see today. I'll say that.
Good or bad, you ain't looking away. He's got your attention.
I'll never forget the promo where they were promoting a Survivor Series match. It was him and the Rockers and I think Jim Neidhart. And each person got a chance to cut a promo. As they're all speaking, the Warrior has athletic tape. And he's just walking in circles around them and he's wrapping them in tape. And so Shawn Michaels is trying to cut a promo and he's legitimately like, he's starting to get choked by the tape. And so like he's trying to like cut his promo and not get the circulation cut off. I don't know why the Warrior was doing it, but I was engaged in the entire promo. I'll tell you that much. We don't get like weird shit like that anymore. You know, you have Jackie Redmond or you have whoever it is, you know, Kathy Kelly, and they're standing there and it's just the same. Yeah, they're looking off. I don't know who they're looking at, but they're looking off camera at somebody most of the time.
Probably a fucking cue, a time guy. You got 10 seconds.
And they're being interrupted by somebody, and it's like, it's the same shit every week. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one who really stands out above the rest.
No. AJ Body with a $4.99. JD keep pushing the same people over and over again. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. They need to rely on these guys, AJ, until the Obas and the Bronze and the Tricks are all ready to go. You're going to be seeing them. And these are their moneymakers. These are the only guys selling tickets. Seriously. Rollins, maybe not so much. The other three, yes. Arnold with a $10 super chat. Let's sing. Old McMahon had an aura farm. I'm not singing the rest of this. OTC. And on his farm, he had a chief. OTC. With a yeet here and a yeet there.
I knew that was coming.
Here a yeet, there a yeet. Everybody acknowledge me. I'm surprised if Vince McMahon was in charge. I'm sure we'd see something along those lines for sure.
Roman is on the farm, man. He's plowing away.
Yes, he is. AJ with a $4.99. It's always the same fucking four guys every single year. Again, you're gonna get it, especially going into WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia next year. I mean, wait till they dig up the old timers and they bring back the 60-year-old guys that haven't wrestled a match in fucking 20 years. It's gonna happen. Hollywood guy with it too. Tom Brady versus Pat McAfee with Logan Paul as the referee.
That's where I check out.
That's nightmare fuel right there.
That's the end for me.
JD from Canada, 99 with a $2 super chat.
Oh my God. Hey.
Yeah, hey. Redemption is so bad it's burning Canada. Oh, is that what the cause is? Okay. I could barely breathe last week with the fucking smog over here.
Well, it's a lot less smoky this week, at least.
Yes.
I came out of a restaurant I think Thursday. It looked like Armageddon outside, like that orange haze.
Oh my God.
I was like, it looked like something out of a war film. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Thoughts and prayers to everybody being affected up there. I mean, it's crazy how it affects us here, man. It was awful. Legitimately awful. I went for my walk. I couldn't even walk fucking half a mile. I'm like, fuck this shit.
The weather app is like, the air has like never been as unhealthy as it is right now. Well, stay indoors.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's encouraging.
Mr. Black Magic with a 999. Good evening, gentlemen. Yesterday marked my second day in wrestling training for my new career. This shit hurts, but I love it. Long-time audio listener to you both, and much love to both of you. Cheers. Hashtag how you know. Well,
that's awesome, man.
That's fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, good luck in your journey. Keep us posted as you go along.
Please. Ray Reezy with a $9.99. Don't know if you talked about this, but what are your thoughts on TNA Dark Side of the Ring? You know what? I'm going to leave it to Jason because he's in review of all the episodes this season, and he uploads them to the YouTube channel. Just go listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would advise you to head on over to the channel, the Solid Monster Sounds Up channel, and all three, because it was a double episode to open the season, and then I did another review this past Sunday for the finale of those first 3 episodes. So they're all up there now, and I enjoyed it overall. It was a little too rosy when it came to Double J. Dixie not taking part hurt it because it would have been nice to at least get her perspective on stuff. Everybody was just burying the shit out of her, and deservedly so in a lot of cases. So, as somebody who has a lot of memories of the LOL TNA days, it was a gold mine for me to cover. I was in the zone when I was going through these stories. It was like war flashbacks, and I'm talking about all this, and it still didn't cover all of it. And then I was pissed when I uploaded it because somebody pointed out to me, and I don't know if you listened to the latest one, but it got into the Global Force Wrestling days of Jeff Jarrett. And there's a famous Global Force Gold video. He did some affiliate scam marketing campaign to try to make money at the time. And I remember covering it on the Sound Off at the time. It's basically become lost media. You can't find the video anywhere. It was Jeff Jarrett just on camera hawking some sort of scheme to get people to sign up and give their personal information so they can invest in small gold bullion. And it was pretty bad. And so the video has been lost, and somebody pointed out to me on an old episode of the Sound Off many years ago, you did an intro where I had the video, not the video, but I had the audio.
Oh boy.
And I said, son of a bitch, I forgot all about that. So I'm going to, it's lost media. I may be the only person in the world who still has this. And I found it, and so I'm going to play it on the Sound Off this weekend.
Oh boy. I got to listen to that, man. That sounds very interesting.
It's very interesting, yes.
Basic with a $4.99. Santana and Priest, Los Boricuas 2.0. It's out in the universe now. You heard it here first. Please know. I could see them teaming up for sure based on their backgrounds, but we'll see. Damian Priest needs something, man. Mike Santana may be that. AJ with a $4.99. LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Not Gunther, because Gunther would not team up with them. It's not in his character. LA Knight? Why would LA Knight team with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn?
Well,
for war games?
They're all sick and tired of the bloodline.
Yes.
They've all been wronged by the bloodline. Yeah. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, there you go. If someone pitched, what I was thinking of, someone pitched a stable with Sammy, KO, McIntyre, and Gunther all in the same group. I'm like, how would that work? The Un-Americans is what they called it.
Oh, well, that's an original idea.
No. Calling
it the Un-Americans?
No. Lost but found with the $1.99. NXT War Games are so much better. I agree. Arabian Night with the $2.79. I can't believe they're changing Santana's name. Well, we don't know that for sure. We don't know. Jason says Mike Santana debuted in NXT. We see. The Mother Lover with a $4.99. Hey, JD, guess what? Everything's great. Also, fuck Neon. Bro's trying to turn my entire generation into a bunch of brain-rotted gooners. I don't know why these reaction streamers or the in real life streamers are so popular. I don't know. What do they do? Do they go out and party and everybody watches them party, wishing that they were there? Or what do they do? What's their content?
Well, I mean, clearly to counter it, we need a JD from New York IRL stream, 24 hours.
All right, yeah. Well, next time Jason and I go out to Budokan, we'll film and live stream us eating and drinking some beautiful cold beverages and some nice food.
That'll be fun, man. Just
Yeah.
biting into that soup dumpling and scalding the side of my cheek.
There'll be not a fucking word said because we'll be devouring all the food in front of us.
All you're gonna hear is you're gonna hear all the disgusting eating noises.
Oh man!
As I devour the entire thing.
The only thing I'll be saying is, another espresso martini, please. Thank you. Caden with a 199. Free Roxanne Perez, please. Roxanne's gonna be fine. Let's give it time. I think she's too good to just be sitting idle. Ken with a 999. Was Mbop by Hanson the catchy song of the 90s?
Probably. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I was into it.
Mbop. Is that on your Spotify playlist?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
But I've come across it like in Pandora. It'll randomly come up in Pandora, and I don't skip it.
Okay. Yeah, it was a catchy tune. Not my cup of coffee, obviously, but it's a catchy song. Jimmy Fingers with a 20. Epic promo on Siri last night, JD. Yes, my phone just went off randomly and starts talking to me. I don't know why it does that. Was having a bad day and night until then. Thank you for that. I clipped it and watched it back several times. It went off because she said, seriously, what are we doing? She took it seriously as Siri. Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I don't know why. I didn't push a button. I don't know why my phone is just automatically responding to me. It's laying here in the off screen. iPhones are weird, man. I'm telling you. I don't know. Justin Turner with a 10 months. Great show tonight, guys. NXT set up. Lola versus Kendall for the NXT Women's title in an underground match in 2 weeks. Happy to see Santana and NXT. They're still doing that? The underground matches?
Every now and then.
God. I was never a fan of those.
They credited Shane McMahon with the idea. It was Shane McMahon presents Raw Underground.
Oh, God. Who was the bodyguard? Was Omos the bodyguard, or was it Commander Aziz?
It was Commander Aziz. Although I think they weren't calling him that. It was Babatunde.
Yeah, Babatunde, yeah. Ken with a 20. What was Vince McMahon's most iconic call from his days as a commentator? 1, 2, 3, he got him. No, he didn't. Unbelievable. Anything can happen here in the World Wrestling Federation. My favorite was, what a maneuver. Everything was a maneuver to him.
The boyhood dream has come true.
God, I hated that.
Oh, he was orgasmic when it came to promoting the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, my God.
Makes you wonder.
I just watched back the HBK special referee spot from 1997 SummerSlam with Bret and Undertaker. Jim Ross's call at the end of that match is so underrated, where he yelled, good God at the end of the match. After that was a great fucking call.
Well, what was even better is when the match was over and the Hart Foundation are walking out. Like Jerry Lawler, No, it was Jim Ross who was like, I don't understand that. And it's like Jerry Lawler is like the voice of reason. He goes, what's not to understand? Like if he didn't count the fall, he wouldn't have been able to wrestle in the United States anymore.
I know. I don't know why he said that.
I don't know either.
Thank you, Ken. Yeah, Vince, he was definitely a voice of our childhood, man. He's synonymous with the product as a commentator, for sure. Clone Force with a 199. My great-grandma is 96 years old, has very few time to live. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's that's a full life, but that's, you start getting into health issues and stuff, and it's tough.
Thoughts are with you, Clone Force. Thank you for being here, man. Jeffrey with a 10. Would anybody be upset if Gable just walks out to a similar version of Angle's theme? They are very much alike in the ring, and that current theme reminds me of SOD South Park's Live to Win. I'm not a fan of Gable's theme. I'm not. It's just AI slop, honestly. I don't know. He's trying to get this clap over. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but
figured you would like it. It's got that rock, that rock sound to it.
Corey Graves said it's dad rock,
which is a great way to get your baby face over. By the way, he comes out to dad rock.
Yeah. Nate with a 999. Mike Santana just arrived in NXT. Oh boy, let's hope WWE doesn't mess up his debut in character. We'll see. The guy's way too talented to have anything be messed up. My guy Bastardo with a $5 super chat. UFC is a real fight, so it's an easier sell. WWE, if you're trying to sell me on two guys having a fake fight, you better give me a huge story. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully Cody and Punk does materialize into that because it's absolutely needed. And they have a lot of ammunition to use on each other. Nate with a 40 bomb. Look at this guy. Also, much love, JD. Jason, glad to be part of this community for 9 years now. And also, we'll continue to watch TNT. I live 35 minutes away from Minneapolis. And even if the tickets were $5, I'm not going to watch this garbage anymore. Not until they finally make stories better. Hell, I could dream if WWE could get away from TKO. Well, that ain't happening anytime soon.
Well, you can keep dreaming because it's not going to happen.
$25 for tickets, man, still ain't worth it. I don't blame you. Just watch it at home. Thank you for being here, Nate. Appreciate you, man. Boss Mo Jackson with the 199. WWE was better when they had the network and no TKO. Agree. I love the old network.
Remember the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesome?
Yes, I watched it every week. They don't get you. Now you got to sign up for WWE Club to get that type of stuff.
I liked it when they had the remote control and they paused Vince McMahon.
Yes. I wish we could have did that many times.
A long time ago.
B Money with a $9.99. If WWE ever turned Danhausen heel, do you think they could book him like a heel doink?
No.
And nobody's going to be a heel doink, okay? Not wrestling-wise, but with the antics and double vision and evil jokes like Doink did, or WWE would just mess it up. Yes, they would. They would mess
it up. Yeah, they wouldn't. It's not the same company anymore.
No. The Randy Bobandy with a $19.99.
What's going on, Randy?
Salutations, fellas. First time super chat. Just wanted to send some love. Look at this guy.
Randy's awesome.
Appreciate you, Randy. Thanks for being here, man. Nate's coming in big tonight. $9.99. Just saying, if WWE got away from TKO and bought more percentage of their company back, they could pay their wrestlers better and not gouge ticket prices like Triple H. He's a puppet at this point. I don't know.
They have debt. They have to pay off that debt.
Yeah, they got $3 billion in debt, Nate. Where are they going? NM with a $5 super. JD, say Sean Sapp and John Alba are at the local fair sharing corn on the cob. Who gets the center first? I don't know. I don't want to be a part of that conglomeration. Okay. Thank you, NM. First of all, I haven't even been to a local fair since my grandpa was around.
Yeah, they don't have too many fairs where I am. The local fair.
Where are the local fairs at, man? Show me where they are.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the city they have the San Gennaro Festival.
Yes,
year.
I've been once. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Fioris from the 999. What's up, JD Solo? Good news from the way of the interview that went on today. To me, it looks like I got the food service worker job with the local school district. Thank you, JD, also for the great advice last night. Appreciate that, man.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Good stuff, man. I told you, put positive thoughts and positive vibes out there, man. That's going to come right back to you. Don't put negative stuff out there. That's why we're so negative. We get the raw negative energy back. SmackDown negative energy back. Maybe if we were more positive, they put on a good show. Maybe. But congrats, man. Appreciate you being here. Biggie to win with 59 months. 1 month away from 5 years as a VIP. Cheers to you both, JD and Solo, for watching all this recent slop so we don't have to. I know I haven't been. Well, thank you, Biggie.
Well, I don't blame you, but that's why we're here. We get to keep you up to date on what's going on.
We get that comment quite often, more than you guys realize. I'd rather watch JD and the Solomons than watch the actual product. Good. Nate with a 999. I'm just going to say this. I feel like Danhausen is just a new toy that they got their rocks hard for. He's just another version of R-Truth. And it's not wrestling for me, even though Dan is really cool. He sells merch, Nate. A lot of it. That's why he's there. Don Stoney. $5 super chat. Shout out to Don Tony Wrestling Soup, Spitball Media, and as always, RP Kevin Castle. Also, thank you again, JD. Much appreciated. Stoney, you getting some merchandise coming to you this week, bro. I got you your mug and your hat be mailed out on Thursday. Furious Nation with a $4.99 and a 5. How Bruce and Hayes still have a job is mind-boggling to me. Both of those rats gotta go. So I'm not sure if you heard, but J-Rod and Brooke Havoc, who also wrestled at ACW recently, are getting a WWE tryout next week during SummerSlam weekend. I did read that. I know I'm familiar with Brooke Havoc, but not J-Rod.
Well, apparently, I think Josh Bishop is also getting a tryout, and I believe he is the one who just replaced Bishop Dyer as Dijak's tag team partner in MLW, and he's getting a WWE tryout soon. So.
Maybe I have a feeling they're going to take one look at him and be like, he's in.
Man, poor MLW.
I don't know. Thomas, with the 35 months, since Nick Aldis is back at wrestling, do you think Adam Pearce will follow suit? No. I don't want to see that. I don't think Jason wants to see that either.
No, I mean, you don't need both general managers getting back in the ring at the same time. I want my favorite memory of Adam Pearce to be when he was in, I saw him in like a 6-man tag once in Ring of Honor at the Hammerstein Ballroom many years ago. And he pulled out one of those like Zorro eye masks and pretended to be the Repo Man. Because with the bald head and everything, they thought he looked like Repo Man. So they would chant Repo Man. And he pulled the mask out, put it on, everyone popped. That's my favorite Adam Pearce memory.
There you go. Gotta love the Repo Man. Venom Supreme. Appreciate you being here, man. 52 months and a $5 super chat. I was supposed to go on a date with this girl I met at the gym and she didn't show. I don't think will work out. Oh, I see what you did there. Okay. And one windmill asked the other windmill, what was his favorite music? He said, I'm a heavy metal fan. Mustangs rule. Thank you, Venom. JM with a $5 super chat. WWE logic is Braun didn't want to listen to Seth's orders and didn't want to fight Seth's battles, but he's perfectly fine fighting Austin Theory's battles. Listen, bro, you're making too much sense here. I can't have you in the comment section. Okay, making us look bad. Hopefully he's out by SummerSlam and back with Paul Heyman. Lauren with a new membership and a 2. Hey, Solo and JD, awful week for wrestling so far. Yeah, it was not good in my opinion. Anyway, there was some good, but most of it was bad. And Boss Mo Jackson with a 199. Fart in my mouth and ugly in the morning. Laughing emoji. Too funny. AJ. And 199 says Gable.
Gable. See, it's getting over.
Yeah, it is getting over. And Richie V will end with this. 199. I pray Mike Santana can keep his name. Yes, we both feel the same way.
Yeah, Casey in the chat says, Solo, I saw Obsession after that god-awful SmackDown, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, my God.
Now, you told me that it was on Peacock, and so have you watched it yet?
I have not. I've been trying to get over this illness. I am going to watch it. I have to find a nice 2-hour block to sit by myself and watch it. I got to do that. And The Odyssey, I think I will be seeing this weekend, hopefully, if I'm okay. But,
You should, well, you won't be seeing it in 70 millimeter IMAX because to see it, you would have to go to the AMC in Lincoln Square. It's the only one that is in 70 millimeter, and it is apparently sold out completely through the second week of August, I believe.
Well, good thing I have one in, I have a movie theater here in town that I don't mind watching because I will be the only one there when I go. I don't care. But I did hear it was amazing in the way that it was filmed, but I'm not that much of a fan to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go see a fucking movie.
It's ridiculous, dude. Like 3 a.m. showings are sold out. Like it's just unbelievable. And I can't, the idea of seeing it in 4DX, like having seen it and some of the scenes in there, like there's no way I would ever do that.
No.
Like with the water scenes and everything, forget about it.
Oh, I would do that. Totally. I would do that.
Oh, God.
I'd come out fucking soaking wet. That's all right. Nate with a $9.99. Regardless of my rants, just wanted to say, JD Jason, I'm glad to be part of this community. Also, huge supporter on YouTube and on X, always making the best content in all of the IWC. Nate, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Lauren with a 2. Orton, McIntyre, or Vicaire return at SummerSlam. No on Orton, no on McIntyre. Stephanie is a maybe. Possibly after SummerSlam. All right, guys, thank you very much, man. Jason, I truly appreciate all the support. You guys killed it with the Super Chats tonight. Thank you again. We're 100 away from 1,000, so please do that. And as always, I'm going to let this guy sound us off for another great week here on TNT.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about the actor Ryan Hurst, who was supposed to play Kratos.
Yes.
Did you hear about that story in the God of War TV series? And they're filming 2 seasons. I guess the first 2 seasons of it back to back, and they had 4 episodes in the can. And he tore his bicep last month on set, which is an extended recovery, and so they have elected to replace him in the title role, and they're going to find somebody else. And like, he lost 40 pounds, or did he lose 40 pounds? Or no, he put on 40 pounds. That's what it was. He put on 40 pounds of muscle and transformed his body and was like really preparing for the role, and filmed 4 episodes. And now nobody will ever see them. They have to reshoot all 4 episodes, and they're going to find a new actor to take his place. And he's been in a whole bunch of movies. He was Beta on The Walking Dead.
Get out of here! No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was on a show called Sons of Anarchy. He was Beta on The Walking Dead. He was in The Odyssey. He's in the fucking Odyssey. This guy.
Oh man!
But Kratos is like, I mean, that's a big role, and I kind of get it because, I mean, think about it. If he's going to be out for like 9 to 12 months, you can't just push the whole. I mean, they got a lot of people who are working on that.
Yeah.
So they had to go in a different direction, and I see that Braun Strowman is already lobbying for the role on his social media page.
He may be too tall for Kratos, but I could see him facially be Kratos. Yeah.
That's the tough break there.
That's awful. I didn't realize it was going to be that type of injury, but
yeah,
man, maybe they got some exclusive content that they can monetize in the future if they want to release those 4 episodes like a bonus. That'd be cool to see.
Sure. But yeah, in those episodes, like, there's a child actor, and I guess I also understand it because kids grow up real fast. They get big real fast, and so it would be kind of weird if they kind of waited, and then he comes back and the kid doesn't look the same now. The kid looks older, so it sucks. I mean, they had to do what they had to do, but man, that's like the role of a lifetime there, and then to lose it like that. That's a tough break.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that, man. It's one of my favorite video game franchises early on. So, interested to see how that comes about. But thank you guys very much for all your support. We'll be back next week with episode 157 right here on TNT. Again, go follow Jason on Twitter and on YouTube. Everything you need is linked down below in the description. Leave a comment. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you guys for the super chats. And as always, we will see you back here, right here on Tuesday Night Titans. See you guys later.